Inhalation of nitrous oxide, whippets, causes a transient lowering of voice pitch and altered timbre due to the gas's increased density, which slows sound wave propagation and shifts the vocal tract's resonant frequencies. Simultaneously, nitrous oxide induces acute neuropsychological changes by antagonizing NMDA receptors and modulating dopamine release, leading to euphoria, dissociation, reduced inhibition, and transient cognitive impairment. These combined effects can result in a slowed, slurred, or unusually modulated voice reflecting both altered acoustics and a disinhibited, intoxicated mental state.
Whip it in my body.
May 3rd transcripts.
I'm back. Your YouTube's doing the weird thing where its view count starts skyrocketing even though they're not here. Hi to the not real people.
We do have a very special guest today. It's a 1-year anniversary of his arrest. Nick Rekieta. Hi, Nick. Now we're finally fucking caught up. Here's Kiki.
Hi. I'm so glad you took the time to read all of those before getting me in here. Nick,
Yeah,
don't
money is
get
more important than
nervous.
you.
It's okay. Hi. Hello. Hello.
Nervous about what?
No, just don't get nervous. It's going to be okay. When did you get the permission from her to share the text messages?
It was written on her boyfriend's middle finger, you dumb bitch. Like,
Well,
when do you
answer the
think
question.
I got it?
Answer the question. When
Probably,
did you get the permission?
We talked
When
about
did
it
you
for
get the
months
permission?
and months and months. You
And
talked to her
then you
once
hadn't
in
talked to her
October.
since January or March at a traffic stop. Did you get
I
the
did.
permission?
How do I talk to her at a
You
traffic
talked to her
stop?
at a
She's
traffic
That's what I'm
stop.
40
asking.
fucking
So
Kiki, you're
late.
mixing up
if you hadn't talked to her,
stories.
so if you hadn't talked to her in months, then do you still have the permission
Shit.
to show the
She's like,
text
you're
messages?
retarded.
Hello.
Nervous about what?
When do you get the permission to show her text
I don't know. Maybe for months and months and months while he was dragging her name through the mud online.
You got her permission to show her text messages on a large screen back in when? November?
Oh my God! Yeah, but that story, she told me
It's a weird
well
thing.
before. She told me that story before November. You retard. That being said, we were planning on telling that story from the moment she told it.
Well, April and I were going to go to Hackmania together. You know, when we were still like in communication. The plan was to show up and just like tell stories and make everybody laugh at Aaron. But then she decided that she needed to get away from the past. It was very traumatic for all of us, and so she just cut everything off. I don't know if she'll ever come back or not. I don't know anything about what like state of mind she's in or anything.
That being said, we were planning on telling that story from the moment she told it.
Until she has a new boyfriend, maybe you might want to get new permission to.
No, I don't give a shit at all about getting new permission.
Okay, so you don't have permission.
Wait, so
What are you
he
talking
owns
about?
April? The new
These
boyfriend owns April?
You just keep saying what about? Like, why can't you just answer a question?
Whataboutism. When you don't have a good answer and change the subject by pointing fingers at someone or something else.
I think you all do that to me. It's been 1, 2, 3,
No,
4, 5 on
not
1
at all.
for about an hour, and I'm saying I
You're
just
red.
was
Angry.
it January at the traffic stop, and that's how you knew somehow that her boyfriend didn't
March
like.
at the traffic stop, you dumb bitch! You can't follow bitch.
When did you get the permission? When did you
You're
get the
the
permission?
stupidest
When did you
person
get the permission? When did you get the permission? When did you get the permission?
Dennis, and ask them
When did you get the permission?
This is what she's too dumb to even like. She can't talk.
Look how red you are. Would you?
Yeah, I'm red. I'm mad at you.
Going to ad hominem.
I'm red and angry.
January.
She's too dumb to even like. She can't talk.
Show the
She's like
text
you're
message?
retarded. Going to ad hominem.
Why is that such a hard question to answer?
No one needs the answer. The
Why-
question
why
is
not?
stupid because the
I
question's
need the
dumb.
answer.
You're just
When
so dumb
did
you
you
don't
get
realize
When
it.
did you get the
Yeah.
permission? When did you get the permission?
I talked to this woman every single day.
He said from when
From
they the first time she
September.
told him. The first
Yeah.
time she told him, he said that they had
January.
planned to tell it at
don't you
Hackmania. He
think
got her
things
permission.
may have changed since from whenever?
Who's the
No.
onus on? Is it on April?
No,
or
I
is it on
don't
him?
think it's. I don't think it's
I'm
changed
just
at
asking
all.
She decided that she needed to get away from the past.
When was the last time you talked to her, Keanu? When was it?
When was the last
October
time you
27th?
did?
When was it? October 27th, right? How would I know this? What magic would I know about your conversation, you fucking idiot? God, how do you not understand this? Like, I know when you're lying.
Do you? Okay, I talked to her every day for a period of time too.
No, you didn't.
From my perspective, yes, I did. She was. How would you know? Oh, I think you're angry because you're just confused. Maybe she wasn't telling you she was talking to me.
She told me every day she talked to you. You moron! I have the text messages. What date was it?
Back and look.
Pick up your phone. Type in April. This isn't hard.
I mean, I have extensive text and phone calls from her.
What's the last one? That's it. What's the last one? It's the easiest question on earth. What is it? What's the last one? What's
phone
the date?
call or the last text message? I'm sorry. There's a lot. There's a lot of them.
The bottom one.
It's the bottom one. The last
January.
More the merrier.
Really? Here's the difference. You have text messages from April as our relationship was fraying and falling apart. Yeah, they're gonna make me.
You have a wife, weirdo. What are you talking about? All right, you would fight with your wife about her all the time, and it would make April feel like shit. You would have April come over, and when she would leave the house, have sex with her, and then send her back next door. Do I need to say more? Are we done here?
Are you done?
Did your wife know that you were gonna leave her for April? Is that what you told her?
I told this story earlier today.
This is going great.
Yes. I told April I would never leave my wife for her. And when I thought that Kayla was going to divorce me and I was massively depressed.
Then you were going to be with April.
Yes. Why is this confusing to you? Yes,
She's
as my marriage was.
That, like, he keeps saying that he's going to leave his wife. He's going to leave Kayla. And,
no.
You know,
that's
what she said. That's what she said. Here's what she said. You want to hear it?
Hey, dummy, this is your conscious. And
I'm
yes,
2
you
minutes
are a
past
cunt.
my heart out. You're the dumbest cunt ever.
He's
and doing
talking
this
about
to your
you
friend is
and Kayla right
horrifying.
now. I've
Please.
been emotionally abused by both of them. He did acknowledge it weeks ago and apologized and cried.
When did you
And
get permission
said
to
he
share
only
that,
did it
Katie?
because he was hoping to get through this as us three. And he felt her going away and he didn't know what to do at the time. Now he realizes he doesn't know what he has and he was trying to save it because he didn't know how to save it with her. So there you go. You're an obvious abuser through text messages that April sent me. I just read to you.
If I'm an
What
obvious
would you like
abuser,
me to
why didn't
say?
anybody know until your brilliant revelation? Like, Jesus Christ.
I bet you're fucking, I don't know.
Bet I'm fucking what? Like, or who? Like, just spit it out.
Nothing. Maybe there aren't public people that don't want to talk about it. That's all.
And what's crazy is that you hurt her more than just about anybody else.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me because I have some. Okay, I can't read the texts about you.
Okay, I
you
can't read the texts
Why
about
not?
you.
So you
did
are you
say.
shocked by the fact that she said that you were emotionally horribly
No,
abusive?
she told me what she told you. I know it's in the text messages, you retard. I talked to her for months afterwards. We were in a sexual and very romantic relationship for a long time. How are you this stupid?
This has to be doing wonders for Kayla's self-esteem.
Kayla knows that she
Yeah,
was
I bet
there.
it's not. Yeah, right.
She was there. Do you think she doesn't
You-
know this? Like, what is
Well,
wrong
don't
with
yell
you?
at the AI.
Why
That
are
was
you
just
yelling?
AI.
Yeah. What do you?
That is interesting, Keanu. You've made way more money for Patrick Melt than you have for Aaron this week.
Or yourself ever.
Well, I wasn't trying to get rude.
Fine,
Fuck
you
off.
Again,
all
I
have-
hate her. It doesn't matter to me about being rude.
That's fine. It's okay. Your life sucks. I understand.
No, my life's great.
I understand. Okay. What's wrong with you?
Lots. I got arrested. I got my
Clearly.
kids taken away. I had a whole bunch
it's
of
very
problems.
sad.
I'm sorry your
Listen,
eggs
listen.
dried up and your husband's semen comes out in dust, but
I
no
don't
one would
want
want
it.
kids with you anyway. You're so fucking stupid. The government would take them away and be like, God, we have
Like
a new
you're
project
like
to
the
study."
government took yours away.
The person you hurt the most was April,
Wait.
dummy. You're not hurting me.
So red in the face. ridiculous.
I'm mad. I'm angry. You took someone I love and you shredded them to the fucking world.
Nick taught me how to do fucking nitrous. Nick taught me how to do nitrous. I said, Aaron.
Yes,
honestly.
I did,
Nick
of course.
taught me how to do nitrous. And
I
I
taught
was
her how to do
fucking
nitrous
worried
and
about
coke
her.
and Molly and ketamine.
Exactly. And she was still fucking doing it. That's terrifying to me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are we pretending
idea.
that drugs aren't cool, Keanu?
Listen,
What's going on?
everything in moderation, but I don't have
Okay,
5
good.
fucking kids, all right?
Yeah, well, you know, you are a woman for women, right?
She hates me for dating, but abusive relationships are very difficult, all right?
Are they?
So
Ask
he
April.
thought, have another whippet, and call it a fucking day. I
Gino
said
thought
100
it was-
times.
You said you and Gino thought it was gross. He was grossed out immediately, and I've just told you he.
I don't make that joke. I
The
mean,
worst part is no one can tell if you're playing dumb or not because you're so fucking stupid.
you really need to have another whippet.
That doesn't make any sense, Rick. If I thought that my partner liked abusing people and thought it was okay, I would break up with my partner.
You
If
don't
that was
co-sign
something
that
someone
because
wanted to
anyone
do.
who co-signs anything with Gino is the dumbest motherfucker on the goddamn planet.
I
Jesus
think
Christ.
you should have a whippet. My gosh.
You do drugs, you dummy. You do cocaine.
When?
What are you
When?
talking about?
I haven't done coke since college. I'll be open and honest.
Kids are
I've got a
stupid.
clip. Hold on.
32.
What college did you go to? Like,
College of Charleston.
oh, don't defame them like that. It's really rude. Holy fuck.
I was watching I was watching In Hot Water, right?
I'm glad the text
Stancil-
messages came out.
Stancil brought Blow. And then I went to go
He
meet
just
them. They were
brought it.
hang out, but I was watching it on my.
all. We all looked at it and said, "What is that? Oh, is that?"
I wasn't there.
No one would
I
want to do
wasn't-
that at all. I wasn't there.
I'm not saying it's not fun, all right? But I was at home.
How would you
watching
know?
on my- because didn't I say I have done drugs before?
Have you ever
Responsibly,
sucked dick for
say.
cocaine?
Oh, is that what he said? I
asked a question. It's
I'm
very
not-
common.
No,
Lots
No,
of people
have
suck dick
you?
for cocaine. Don't be ashamed.
I'm sure you have.
There was
or
no
your wife
No, I
has.
haven't.
There was
Oh, well, I felt like it was court.
Here, go answer your question.
all right. So the video that we were just showing a minute ago.
I am so.
He used to. He still does, but he used to too.
Hey, Kiki. You know
Yeah,
what's
that was a
funny
joke,
is
Kiki. I
I've
didn't actually-
said
I'm not
every answer that you just gave.
What?
I live in outstate Minnesota. Do you think I don't you don't think I haven't said exactly what you just said?
Oh, you mean like as a lie?
I literally
Okay.
said it. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
no, not a
listen.
lie. What are you talking
Well,
about? God damn
listen,
it.
I'm not on probation either, so. Well,
Great. That's fantastic. How are you doing?
just fine. You're all jerks, and
I think
Yeah,
we've been
she's
respectful, but that's.
Finger, you dumb bitch.
She's like, you're
text
retarded.
Or you retard.
She's too dumb to talk to you.
Or you
got the
retard.
permission.
You dumb bitch.
She's dumb.
Kiki, jump off a cliff.
you are
She
so
can't
wrong.
rhyme.
I could
She
show
can't
the
rhyme. You
fucking
think
receipt.
incapable
Show
of
'em.
taking
I could
Whatever.
show the receipt.
You're the dumbest cunt ever. And fuck, shut the fuck up, you retard.
Sorry,
yes,
but
you're a
you're-
piece of shit and a pile of garbage. You dumb bitch. You're disgusting. You dumb bitch.
I don't have friends that share nudes with me because that's disgusting.
Kiki got mad that I posted a link to a website that had her leaked butthole pictures on it.
I don't have friends that share nudes with me because that's disgusting.
I
Was it a
shared
nude
pictures
of me?
without your
Because I don't
express
think-
consent. Because the only photos I linked to is your photos, so I didn't have your consent.
So you.
I don't have friends that share nudes with me because that's disgusting.
You are a piece of shit, you dumb bitch.
I wrote a song
Why did?
13 years ago
Okay.
about a 6-year-old and a 5-year-old having sex.
I think
Yeah,
we've been
she's
respectful, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
thanks for coming on, Keanu.
Not me. I'm not respectful. You're the worst fucking person who could possibly be a friend to someone like April. And the fact that you would take and shred her privacy in front of everybody for your own pathetic aims so you could get more than 12 people to watch your embarrassing podcast with your grizzled mother is disgusting. I hope you die miserably.
He's an ageist. Wow.
Yeah, I'm an
All right.
ageist. I'm a fattest. I'm a
Well-
I'm a
Hi,
gross.
Carl.
We're gonna do a hype
WNBA.
trade and then we're gonna get out of here.
Austin, Carl, hold on.
Okay.
Hit like if you like the show. If you don't like the show, don't hit like or hit thumbs down. Be like, this guy sucks. I don't mind. But if you do like the show, hit that like button. It really does. I gotta remind YouTube that I'm here. They are not distributing things out.
How's it going, guys? That was a great intro. It was a bit long, so I started a little bit early, but it was definitely worth watching. The best stuff always comes out a day or two after I actually finish my own streams. But Third World Aristocrat, check him out. He does a lot of the great edits that I like to use as intros, but they're just very entertaining. It makes me very envious that I don't work on my editing skills a little bit more than I do. How's it going, guys? Hope you're having a great day. A bit of a content deputy, I suppose. We're going to check out what I missed of the last stream. Of course, we had a big stream. We went through the SEETHE session. The Fallout has been happening. It's been very, very funny so far. We got some good memes that I want to share as well. This one's this one's probably the best one that I've seen so far. Are you winning, Dad? Oh dear, dear, dear. It's looking good. It's looking good. Trucker Rob started off this stream with a $10 super chat. Says, yes, another wholesome stream. Yes, hopefully YouTube agrees. Although recently they've been very nice to me. Some rando gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much, as well as Barton Bella, who says, the Baldo finally blocked me, but Gino followed me. Well, there you go. We got some Gino content tonight, actually, unironically. And JB Behemoth with the 2 says, here's for one teat's worth, sorry, of a KNU. Yes, the old Kayla nude unit. And in the pre-stream poll, it looks like 40% of people have decided that Kayla's favorite captain is Cisco. I wonder why they would say that. Because there's still time to vote, as there is still time to like the stream. Trigger Rob also says, very red shirt he has here today. Yes, it is. It's fantastic to see. All right. So I'll try and go through this. I want to go through the Nanny Gate stuff today, which is what I missed last time because I was very sleepy. I was like, I think it was 1 a.m. when I finished. I'm a bit sleepy today as well, but we'll try and go through it as I'll try and get through everything. So I'm all caught up because I want to get all of this stuff out of the way. So if the body cam drops, we're just free and ready to go for that. Although we still don't know exactly what's going on with that. But it seems like Josh Moon has said that he's very confident that he's about to get it. And if not, he has a league of lawyers that are ready to sue Minnesota to get the footage because there is no reason that he should not be able to have it. And I believe that is correct. They just have to edit out all of the minors' faces. So the blurring will take like, they estimated like 50 hours or something of police editing work. So that may be the delay there. All right, let me see. We got here. Oh, here we go. This is what I should have done. It's a very, very fun little edits we got recently over the last few days. We got to see a very nice. This is what could have been if that snitch pastor hadn't ratted on Rekieta. He could have been enjoying his April with his dirty house while Kayla's enjoying. Some would argue the best captain. I actually quite like Cisco myself. I think he's a pretty good captain. Anyway, we might get into this one as well, where you've never seen Nick sober. I think I'll save this for later though, and I'll just get into the stream fallout because I think that kind of follows up very good from that last clip. So here we have Scarebro posted on Twitter saying, breaking Baldo news. On today's Steel Toe, Gino Bisconti and Keanu Thompson provided a first-hand description of what our communal wife Kayla, Nick Rekieta's wife's nudes look like. The pose and the body language is indicative of consensual photography, not distribution without her knowledge, as it should be without, not with her knowledge, despite Nick's claims. Remember, only Aaron and Gino, maybe Keanu, have seen this picture. I think that it's just these two, just Aaron and Gino. Nick had no idea that this picture existed. He submitted about 6 other photos, 6 KNUs, to the Stearns County authorities from their shared Signal chat, but he had no copy of this photo. Now, this is one of Nick's things. He says that the photo was non-consensual, but that's just not true. Like, he's making the implication sound like Aaron snuck into the bedroom at night and like pulled the sheets back and took a picture of Kayla while she was asleep. No, she posed for this photo, and I believe the actual court document said that she sent it to him on Signal. Now, if it was in the group Signal chat, then it's still posed for and sent to every participant in that chat. And obviously, Aaron should not have sent that. That's a bad thing to do. We obviously disavow that, but it is very funny that he only had to pay. I mean, the funniest thing for it is that Aaron had to pay $50 for nudes. Like, if I go into Google and I type in big booby, there's like a million different results. I with 10 pounds is Mr. Meme. Your expertise is needed. A drama streamer on Kick named JSTLK wants a Nick Rekieta Lawmaster to come and explain it all to him. I think you're the man to teach that seminar. Well, have him send me a DM or an email or Discord message or something, and maybe I can help him out. I do have an encyclopedic knowledge of all this it's very loosely described as content. All right, let's see what they say.
This
is
came
the pose,
into
baby. Look,
right,
look. This is the pose.
This is the pose.
like that, exactly. Right.
That was the pose.
That was
Sticking
the
out
pose.
that
She had
chest.
these hideous tits.
Oh
that
my
she-
god.
Hideous titties. Oh my goodness, unbelievable. How say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
Ruined for her husband,
Oh,
and it said Nick under her left tit.
Right.
It said, no, I thought there was just rosebuds on the thing. Like, this is some new information to me. She's got the nickels, the little nick, you know what I mean. The nickels under the one tit. Disgusting titties. Oh my goodness. But she had the mummy makeover. Those should be firm and proud, right? Their doctor should maybe be sued as well. I mean, could be added to Nick's long list of lawsuits that he's just dying, chomping at the bit to start.
I can't unsee that because I saw your whore wife naked.
Oh,
God.
So, like, I've been very mean to Keanu, and I don't think I've ever talked about Gino, but I think I've said some mean things about Keanu in the past. But this is the first time I've actually seen the real Gino. Like, apparently the Gino on the Nobody Likes Onions show was the fake puppet guy. So apparently he's a master of disguise. I can't tell. They all look the same to me. Don't ask me what that means. But all of these New Yorkers look the same to me. But this guy's actually pretty funny from what I've seen so far. There's 1 second of footage that I've seen of him.
Naked. And again, when Moody's like, oh, he has to, Gino laughed. Right. I was very uncomfortable. Like, yeah, tattoos aren't bad. You can put whatever spin you want on it, but my poor friend Aaron is out $50 for sending me a picture of Nick's whore wife.
You can see that Gino's having a bit of fun here after Nick screamed at his wife for 3 hours. Can we get RIP $50 in the chat? Just type RIP $50. You don't actually have to send a Kayla nude unit, but I would appreciate it if you did, because I love money. But how sad. When I heard this, it reminded me of something. It reminded me of one of my favorite movies when I watched this so many times as a kid.
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
That's what I was thinking of when Gino was saying this. There's a little bit left of this, but I don't think he says much more. Let me see.
By the way, hi Kayla. Did you have fun babysitting the 5 kids whose brains are fucking ruined while your husband took a refrigerator to fucking skank? What was it?
Skankamania?
Did you, Kayla? Hi Nick. You fucking idiot.
That's right. He was doing the karate chops a bit. That's actually a very useful hand gesture. If you go to Asia, you can just do that. Like, this isn't actually a joke. This is true. If you're walking through a crowd in an Asian country, if you do the karate chop motion, you can like cut your way through the crowd. It's actually very useful. BP taught me this trick, and it works all the time. Very good, very good. Go back to your home on Whore Island at the Balldo bunker. All right. We got this meme, was pretty good because this is actually what I imagined when Nick. Can I make this larger? Oh well, I guess not. When Nick was talking about how April was crying while she was calling the St. Cloud police station, it sounded like Nick was coercing her to call because she did redact her statements about Aaron, saying that he abused her or he raped her or everything like that. She said this publicly, I believe, and she said this on Twitter. So I kind of feel like she was actually coerced. So this is, we've managed to get body cam footage of Rekietalaw and April filing the domestic violence charges against Aaron, warning the following footage is graphic. Very funny. Again, I haven't seen this report. I'm not sure if it's real, but maybe filed reports aren't available if nothing is made of them. I'm not sure. But it was a good meme. It was a good meme. Steel Toe is back from vacation. So this is the funniest part about all of this, is the man that's just interested in golfing and talking about what he had to eat that day. That's pretty much all I know about his show. He was away for the entire weekend. He was away for the entire weekend when all this drama happened. I guess Keanu and Gino were running his show. And then, like, he just had this absolute fucking W. It was just another win for the Toe day after day after day after day. And he comes back to Minnesota, I think. I don't know where he was. And he's just like, I got 50 messages, and everyone's just like, congratulations. Like, for what? He did nothing. Mr. Magoo did it again. He can't keep getting away with it. But he said, he did say one thing interesting. He said, the Nick you saw is the Nick I knew. I've seen him angrily and violently corner multiple women when he couldn't control them. And you know what? Even though you have to take everything that Aaron says with a grain of salt, and I don't trust him to be a reliable narrator in most cases, this rings true. Because if Nick is going to go and make such an ass of himself and be so aggressive to women in front of, I think 1,000 people saw that live. Of course, tens of thousands saw the clips. What is he going to do in private? Like, it really makes you think, makes you wonder. I totally believe that the Nick we saw on display there is the real Nick. In fact, this might be a good time to listen to this part here. This is, Nick is sober. You just don't know what that looks like. So, also, very cheeky of Alyssa. She's got the like view counter in there. I wonder if she's doing this intentionally, but every time I look at these clips of Nick, like progression, like from time-wise, they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Maybe it's just because these clips are taken at the end of his stream when everyone's already piling out anyway. But it is a very funny little thing for me to notice. All right, let's see what he says. We've never seen Nick sober. His entire career, his entire persona was being drunk. Let's see what he says.
No, I'm hammered. Yes. Okay. Is he sober? No, I'm hammered. Yes. Go away. Why is it so hard?
What is so hard, Nick?
Oh my God.
So hard to be sober.
Yes, I'm sober.
Water.
Again, I have random testing, and if I fail it, I go to prison. It's not like a thing that I have a choice around. It's not like, oh.
Well, no, yeah, you have the choice. You can always choose to go do drugs in prison. I wouldn't recommend it. Although you will find some people that have similar nighttime proclivities as yourself if you do go there, is what I would imagine.
Going to get around this thing. You just do what you have to do. That's it. There's not really an option. Ah, man, he's probably going to drink.
It's funny because I thought the option would have been not to do them in the first place when you're a responsible father. Like, it's going to come out, and some details from that stream are very interesting and shed some light on the nanny clips that we're going to look at later. After we get through all of the fallout from the Keanu content seethe session, content nuke on his remains of his career. Because he claimed that, like, you know, he was responsible with his drugs, only he had the combination, which simply isn't true, because April was refilling her coke pipe or whatever when the cops actually showed up. And more details came out as well about how Kayla was in bed still wearing a bathrobe at 9 a.m. On a school day. I guess nobody's going to make the kids breakfast or anything. I guess that's what their nanny's for. Oh, never mind. But like, the thing that I realized after that stream is that Nick admitted that he threw coke into his car with his unattended child when he was arrested. But the thing is, as well, is that he couldn't even take a drive from his house to drop off his kid at school and then come back without having coke on him for just such an emergency of if the drive is really boring. Like, imagine that. He's like, well, I got my wallet, watch, keys, cocaine bullet. I can't leave the house for even 20, 30 minutes without getting a hit. I'm sure he was driving was just very safe as well, but we'll see. Didn't he say it was always in a safe? He said that. Yes, he said that it was always in a safe and that only he had access to it. Therefore, Kayla and April could not be guilty parties. This is not true because cocaine was found on top of the fridge when the cops arrived. And when not the fridge in like the kitchen, I assume it was the mini fridge that he brought. It was the trophy to his cuckoldry, because he still has not admitted that Aaron was toes deep in his wife. And but no, that mini fridge, I don't know, I guess he shipped it, or maybe he took it on the, I don't know how he get a fridge to Vegas from Minnesota. But that fridge was a gift from Aaron to his wife, because she's so lazy she can't go down to the kitchen, so she has to have a snack drawer right in the bedroom when Aaron's cucking Nick or whatever. I don't know why he would bring this down to the Hackmania. It's literally a monument to his own cuckoldry. But that's the fridge. I guess it's another win for the toe. He can't keep getting away with it.
Would put me in prison. That's dumb. You're slurring, sir.
Is he becoming Indian? Is this what's happening? Is this the Indian AI that's replacing his channel or something? And that's the actual mask is slipping. I don't know. Sar.
Okay. Everybody's a drug recognition expert now. Rob,
Well, I mean, Warski is, and Warski was the first one to say that you're on coke, I believe. I mean, maybe I could be wrong, but Warski did call that very early and very quickly. There's no poll for Captain Janeway. That's a good question. Maybe I'll have to redo the poll. Oops, wrong one. Sorry. Oops, sorry. Do we need to redo this to add Captain Janeway? Is the chat going to riot if I don't add this? All right, hold on.
Price says, Nick, I quit drinking 6.5 years ago. I have the odd beer, but I don't miss it at all. Yeah, man. I mean, so far I don't miss anything either. Like I said, that could change. I mean, everybody says that it's really hard, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't know how sobriety is going to go. It's funny because people talk about, well, you guys, I guess, chat or online people, they talk about me and like, they're like, oh, well, he's acting this way, that way. You've never seen me sober.
Is that a good thing to admit? He's like the entire time he's been streaming, he's been drunk. Now, I remember those first streams that Nick did. He was in his little law office. And I remember him pulling out and it was like, everyone's first video sucks, right? And he's got like, well, this is me, and I've got a bottle of Macallan. I'm going to read the Maddox lawsuit. Like, you're saying even when he was starting that stream before he take his first shot of whiskey, that he was already drunk. What a way to live your life. Like, what was that, like 7 years ago? So his like entire life, it starts 7 years ago when he was, because he said, like, he claimed that he doesn't drink off stream. I don't believe that, obviously. It's like a blink of an eye. He's 7 years ago. He's got a law office. He's like, record scratch. You bet you're wondering how I got here. Now I've got two mistresses. I'm arrested for having cocaine possession, and I might go to prison in August. Like, that's just how it happened, because you just didn't realize the entire time. For 7 years, he was being drunk or whatever.
Like, as sober is like a status. You've never seen it before until just.
Is sober as a status? It's like a status effect. What does it mean as a social status? Like the elusive sober citizen. You've never seen one.
I guess starting on April 19th was when I started streaming again. But prior to that, you'd never really seen me sober.
Thank you for the 5.
I started the channel off drinking, and so I might not have been drunk at a particular time, but I was always, I was always just a little bit away from a drink of some sort, and then eventually from substances. So it's so everybody who's a behavioral expert on me, you're getting to know the Nick Rekieta that's underneath all of the substances. You get
behavioral experts. Please respond. I'm not sure if any of us are behavioral experts, but we get to make our observations. And a lot of our observations include laughing at you. And that's fun. And don't you enjoy it, chat? Let me know if you enjoy making these observational humor. Put a 1 in the chat.
Getting to know me now. So that's nice. But acting like you're some behavioral expert who knows...
No, this isn't a red shirt. You don't know how cameras work, Kitty. Come on now.
Who knows all the drugs I'm on at any given moment? Like, no, you don't. You just
neither does he, because there was one clip I decided to leave a couple stuff because I was going through all my backlog of stuff. There's one clip that didn't make it in tonight, and he talks about well, maybe we could watch it later. Actually, he talks about going down the K-hole, and like on the night before he got arrested, he smashed up a line of, I think it was ketamine, and he snorted that thinking it was cocaine, and then he collapsed onto the bedroom floor and was just staring at the fibers in the carpet as he became paralyzed for hours or whatever. I guess that's what happens when you take ketamine. I'm not an expert on drugs. So even he didn't know the extent of just how of what he was taking and what he was doing and how it was affecting him. The K-hole. That's the 1K he wanted to be inside, was the one that comes in a powdered form.
I'm sorry. But yeah, your focus on it is fine, I guess. I don't know what purpose it serves for you, but if that's what you...
Entertainment. I mean, at first, like, the way this started, and you can check back on this, the first stream that I ever talked about Nick, his report is, I was sad. I was like, how could this be? This must be a mistake. If it's true, then hopefully it's not as bad as it seems. And I was just like, this is a guy that I used to watch, I really used to enjoy. I stopped watching because it became this bizarre, degenerate nonsense bag of whatever he was doing for like the last I think I stopped watching about 8 months before the arrest happened, and then like as I read the documents, as I found out what a piece of shit he was, and I realized that just how wrong I had been, then it became more about the entertainment and the laughing, about a guy getting what he deserves. You get what you fucking deserve when you fuck around, and he's finding out. And there's a bit of Schadenfreude there, of course. I'm not going to deny that. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys like this story for? I mean, it's like a dumpster fire that you just can't look away from. And, you know, every time I think that this lolcow has got not a drop of milk left, old reliable Nick comes back and he's ready to be milked again, like from last night. And now if the body cam comes out, then, oh, buddy. There was a really funny tweet, actually, by, I think, Ian Runkle. And maybe he wasn't talking about Nick, but he said, and Nick responded to this, so I could probably find it very easily. You know what? Let's actually see if I can find that. And this is very true. This is very true. And I like Runkle. He seems like a good guy. Very interesting. Let me see. I don't think it was an old one. I think it was pretty new. Let me see. I'll search it and see if I can find it.
And you never needed the substances. Super proud to have you back. Hey, thanks. Thanks. It's also interesting for me because
all right, here it is. I found it. Ian Runkle said as of 10 hours ago, important internet tip, and this is really good advice, by the way. The internet will continue mocking you as long as you continue doing stupid stuff. The solution is just to be uninteresting, to make fun of. If you're boring, people will move on. And this is 100% true. Can I get my bros in the chat to post those 100s? Like, I'm just keeping it 100. Like, this is just true. If Nick stops being boring, if he stops causing drama, if he stops trying to poke people, and when he says it's not a drama channel, but then he talks about Kurt, Uncivil Law, for an hour at a time, driving away as an audience. If he just does his boring law show, that'll be entertaining to the people that like boring law shows. Like, I don't really like trial coverage very much, although I may do the trial reviews or trial watch-alongs or whatever. I haven't decided yet, of the Brian Koberger story, because I am interested in that story. Now, like Johnny Depp, Rittenhouse, those were very entertaining trials, but like the average trial doesn't entertain me very much. But if he just does that content, like if he just becomes the legal eagle, he can just be the legal eagle of the right. Even though like the idea of him becoming legal eagle is like drives him insane. It's like, why? Because being successful is such a terrible thing to be. Like, he just needs to be legal eagle, but with his own opinions. Okay. That's all he has to do. If he does that, people will stop talking about him because it won't be interesting. There won't be any of these fireworks. That's all you have to do. This is the most true thing that you can ever see on the internet. And Nick actually responded to this tweet saying, "Whoa," or something to that effect. So that was very funny. All right, let's continue this. I'll get to these chats in a second, guys. I can see everyone keeping it 100. Very good.
Well, I do now, I guess. I've been spending time with me, but I didn't know what it would be like sober again.
What a thing to say. Like, if you go a 24-hour period and you ask yourself, I don't know what it's like to be sober again, you've got a problem. He went for 7 years like this. 7 years. 7 years a drunk. What a way to be. What a way. What a world.
Well, first I was annoyed a lot, right? But like I got over that pretty quick. And then it was like, holy crap. Your head is clear.
Is it?
Which sounds weird because it's like, well, duh.
That does sound weird. I don't think it's clear. If it's clear, it's because you can see sunlight through the holes. That's the only way his mind is going to be clear. Now, obviously, Keanu has completely destroyed him by talking about the whippets, and I don't believe whippets are illegal. In fact, I'm fairly certain they're not to do. But it may be a violation of his probation, because his probation, I believe, says he can't do any mood-altering substances that are not included as a prescription. So it would be a breaking of probation, but it's not necessarily illegal. But just, you've gone through all of this. Wouldn't you just say no at this point? Wouldn't you just say, all right, I've had my fun. I went on a 2-year spurg out after 18. Like, I had 18 years of married life with 5 kids, a wife, a house, 2 houses, actually, a massive Deerfield property. You know what? Maybe I'll just fuck this all up for 2 years. Oh, I got away with it because I've got rich parents, and that's the solution to everything. And I only have to do 80 hours of community service, even though that is like nightmare for him as well. He's like, you know what? Maybe I'll just do some more drugs that I can hide under the table. Let's just see it. Let's just double down just one more time. Come on, Red or Lucky 7. I don't know about gambling either. Sorry. I'm a very boring person, honestly. Although I do drink a bit more than I should as well.
Dummy. But you kind of get used to riding through all of the work that I did was, by work, I
work. Yeah, okay.
mean, stuff related to the show was typically under the influence after a while. And so you kind of get used to that being the flow of your thinking. But the flow of your thinking while you're under the influence of liquor is slow and messy. And having it not in there is something that it's been a while. So it's been kind of cool getting back to that state of being. And I like it so far. I'm down.
Does he though? Do you think he likes it, chat? He doesn't seem like he's having a good time. And he's got 5 boring years of this to go. Like, it's not even August yet. He doesn't seem like he's having a good time. When I do my next review of his Channelytics, we're not going to do that today. But Nick has got a new SEETHE theory coming out. He believes he's now being shadow banned by YouTube. So he doesn't seem like he's having a good time. It seems like when I mentioned the numbers, it really got to him. Which is funny because you should never let me know what really makes you mad. And that's actually a Nick quote. Because he used to say that about people on the internet. Like, never let you know what offends you. And Nick has let everybody know what offends him. He said that he's offended by the $50 memes. He's offended by the numbers. He's offended by saying he's not a good father. He's offended by saying he's dangerous to children and women, which he is. By his own admission this week, he said that he left drugs around a child alone, something that he's accused, well, I guess he didn't accuse Aaron of doing it, but he accused Aaron of being a dangerous person. But he's just actually everything that he says is wrong with other people. And like, when you realize that Nick is projecting, everything he says becomes very straightforward. The reason Nick is so mad at Keanu yesterday wasn't because he hates Keanu. It's because he hates himself and he hates the things that he's done to people. When he talks about Keanu being a monster, objectively evil, destroying April's life, that's because he did that. He destroyed April's life. Now, April may not have had a great life before this. Maybe she was already on the road to divorce with Aaron. We don't know, and frankly, I don't really care. But he absolutely took her in and destroyed her life by giving her these easy answers, by teaching her to do drugs, by teaching, he said, I taught April to do ketamine, Molly, cocaine, and whippets. That seems like a really good way to improve someone's life. And then you enable them by letting them live rent-free in your second trap home so that you can call her over anytime Kayla's going out to the shopping. The one time that I guess the DVR's broken. That's a boomer meme, I guess, as well. And then she actually has to go out and buy DVDs or something because the Wi-Fi goes out. That's when Nick sneaks over his mistress. Yeah, that seems like a really good way to improve a woman's life.
At first, I was annoyed and pissy and like having a fit about it because
at first, this clip is from 1 day ago. At first, wait a minute. I think you mean just a constant state.
I liked the activity associated with substance use as well. Like, I've mentioned this before, but like going out and
yeah, he has mentioned before that he's actually not sorry that for anything he did. He's just sorry he got caught. He's still thinking. He's thinking right now about how much fun it would be to go down to Gay 90s, have a beer, do a line, and then get at the end of the line for the glory hole at Gay 90s.
Going to a club or a bar or whatever. Like, I liked just that activity. And if you can't drink, like, you don't want to go do that stuff. It gets really boring and stale. So I was kind of like pissy about it because I was like, oh, you're taking away all my fun stuff. But it's been really good.
It's just like when the teacher took away his Transformers, that bitch. Maybe that's why he was actually yelling at Keanu. Maybe he saw that teacher in her, the one that took away his Transformer toys. And that's the one thing you can't do to Nick. You can't take away his toys.
Working has helped tremendously.
For over a year, you have kept your nose clean and been doing what you got to do for you and yours.
This is false. Because didn't Nick just say he was 30 days clean like a couple days ago? Like, hold on a second. I want a fact. For a year, you've kept your nose clean. That nose, that bright red nose, I don't think that's true. Hold on. I'm pretty sure this is Nick's pinned tweet. So as of May 15th, so he's essentially at most 45 days clean, which I don't frankly believe. But what do you mean for a last year you've been clean? No.
Plenty of people can't last a couple days. Thus, it is something to be proud of.
Hey, thanks. It's a really hard thing to figure out how to do this, by the way. Like the not doing drugs and not drinking is really the easiest part. The hard part is figuring out how you come back into this world. commentary, but then of course like drama and all that bullshit. And
well, you pick a lane. Either you make your channel a drama content and go double down because people will watch that, people will be entertained by that, or you choose the boring lore route. But you can't really appease both of these audience, it seems, because the wine mums that typically like the trial content don't want to hear you bitch about another man making pizza casserole. So it's not really that hard. It's just you don't have the appetite for it. You're you want to have it both ways. You know, you want to be able to bully people that are smaller than you. Although ironically, apparently, maybe not so much anymore, as BobTube with the 2 says, Nick and Kurt are streaming. Kurt has more viewers. This unfortunate is that, like, I don't like to attack people that are smaller than me, but Nick exclusively likes to do that. But it seems like, you know, as of like my last stream and maybe even tonight's stream, I might not be able to talk about Nick anymore because his channel is getting smaller than mine, which is very disappointing to see. Although maybe now he'll take my advice. Although since he is oppositionally defiant, I guess that won't be the case.
Oh, and everybody hates you because they believe something that just isn't the full story, we'll say.
What's
That's
the full
easiest
story?
way to say it. I won't get into it beyond that.
Then don't mention it. Alrighty. So I'll get through these chats before we get back into some more stuff. Charlie with a 5 says, our communal wife is very clean and very pure. Imagine a judge finding your nude wife worth a $50 fine. The kids must be in a living hell. Like, this is one thing, but I did watch a few of the, I mean, no, we're watching them now, kind of. One thing that Keanu was saying, actually, which is actually very, I assume going to be very true in the future, is that Keanu, I believe, said she can't wait to see the 5 podcasting careers that the Rekieta children will be doing when they grow up and talking about their abusive childhood. So that'll be interesting to see. But, you know, for what it's worth, I've heard the kids are doing quite well, actually, which is goes to show that if you do like a good groundwork of raising children, then even if you fuck up a little bit or a lot in Nick's case, they might be okay. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. I hope that it works out well for them. I think that I know a lot of people that came from really terrible households and they turned out to be great, amazing people. And I hope that's the case here. As it is, you know, it's like you ever hear the phrase like a flower that grows out of a pot of dirt. Well, Nick's the dirt as a man. Trucker Rob says, I'm confused, meme. I've seen this color shirt before. So actually, there's a funny detail that someone mentioned. When I get a picture of Nick in his office. So when Nick said that his shirt was red, he was technically telling the truth because the Joker's shirt is red in his background. And as you know, he's the Joker, baby. So if you take it from that point of view, it makes sense. Scarebro says, Nick didn't know April filled a vial when he left. Yeah, I guess Nick didn't know this. Maybe I think he was just lying. I think that the safe was always open. I'm not sure if it's what type of combination it is because I said it was a combination. It was Nick said it was a combination code. I assumed it was like the ones you have in like a bike lock where it's like the 4 numbers you just turn around. Kids could easily get into those because I know from my childhood experience that sometimes I'm just bored and I found a bike lock and I wanted to undo it to see if I could. And I would start at 1 and go all the way up until I got the code. If it's like a proper like safe where it's like those are pretty hard for kids to get into. So we'll have to wait until the body cam to find out. If it's the 4-digit code where you just like slide the wheel down, then that's not suitable to have in the house with children or ever really. But yeah. Abacus Finch with the 5 says, it's striking me that Rackets tries so hard to impress Melty and his crew, his boys, while it's obvious Melty is farming him for lolcow content. Yeah, Nick is just a useful idiot for getting at Aaron. And Nick is just so desperate for anyone to pat him on the back and gas him up. Interesting turn of phrase there. But he will literally go with anyone that thinks they're being anti-Aaron. And that's when I think it was the Chad Zumok clip where he went into that chat and thought that he was like, he'd found a new ally. And then he got this shit kicked out of him by Zumok. That was pretty funny. Let me see. He also said, with another 5, thank you much. Big support today. Says, also, Whippet's good. It's kind of funny how Counter memed that into reality. Because like it was so cringe when she was just in an 8-hour stream and there was like a million Whippet things. But now it's actually become like funny again. Scarecrow said, you and Runkle said this, now he will double down. Well, that's the thing. If I give him good advice, he never takes it, and it's only going to make his situation worse. Also, very lucky number of stream viewers. We've got 888. The Chinese will have loved this stream. Unfortunately, they don't have Chinese YouTube, so there you go. Jefferson C. Post with 5 says, you're getting to know the real me? Yeah, Nick, that's why the views and donations are down. You looked into the lolcow void, and it was a mirror. I mean, even going back to the Ron Toye days, right? Nick would go really hard on Ron Toye for being a abusive, I guess, stepfather and throwing a remote at his wife and threatening a judge's kid. Those are really entertaining, those Ronversation streams. It seems that Nick went so hard on Ron at that time. It's because he saw something in Ron that he saw in himself because, I mean, well, we know what turned out for Nick. And I probably shouldn't say anymore. Some rando says $5 bucks for meme out kenoing the casino. I love the Keno Casino. They're good boys. I wish I had a sidekick or a partner that I could stream with. I feel like the dynamic of having two people is really good. I try and do my best by myself, though. I need to get Max and BP and Andrew on again for a classic Friday stream. Just finding the time to do it. Bob Tube, also member for 5 months. Thank you very much. Kush King with, I have 2 words for Nick's future. Manosphere coach. I think that's not too far away, as he has said he's writing a book. I bet it's going to be about how to be a great dad. And Trucker Rob says, goal. We hit the goal, which means the chat gets a Kayla nude unit. Although you'll have to message Aaron for it. All right, let's continue along these. This is another funny thing, is that they were going hard on Keanu for allegedly being friends with a distributor of revenge images. But despite the fact that Melton was in that chat, who was also shared nudes of Kiki, he welcomed Ethan and Ralph into the throuple. This is like, the funny thing is, Nick actually looks at these days and thinks that this was like the good old days. But apparently there isn't really much of a big problem with being friends with revenge pornographers, I guess. It's kind of funny, though. You can just look at, like, what's going on with these legs? He's got, like, liver spots or something, or bug bites. Maybe this is the wound that he was scratching. I don't know. But, wait, is April's legs thicker than his? Man, like, come on now. You got to do some squats next, sorry. But I'm not going to try and body shame him as we go forward with this. All right, what do we got next here? Okay, my theory, and this is after the show, from the Keanu Fallout session. My theory, April didn't get what she wanted, Nick, so she got feelings hurt and thinks Kiki thinks that's emotional abuse. Nick says, you got it. So he just admits he was leading April on, promising her to be the mover into the big house, live in master's bed, after he got rid of his wife. But it was all a joke. It was all a charade, so we could keep getting that quick and easy snatch in those deer-filled woods when Kayla was out shopping. You got it. It was really hard for both of us, but particularly her. I had a family to stay with, so you never planned to leave Kayla for April. She lost everyone and had to start over. And whose fault was that? Whose fault was that, Nick? Just confirming everything. Now, Nick had to say something about the Keanu SEETHE session. Tiny Gray also with £2 says, love this pic. 3 lovers and their pet screaming hog. Yes, I almost said 3 Nick Reketas, but I would have said the initials, which would have been dangerous. I have to be careful here. All right, let's see what Nick's saying about his recent bout with yelling at women as he likes to do.
Keanu's roasting me. I don't care.
Do you think he cares, chat? If he cares, press 1. If he doesn't care, press 2. Now, a cursory glance at his Twitter. A cursory glance at his his replies. Let's see. 30 days sober, good for him. All right, let's see. Let's see what he's saying. Oh, responding to Kiki. Hey, dumb bitch, what do they call you? You seem pretty stable there, buddy. Oh no, responding to them. If you just the entire feed. I'm gonna keep scrolling down this feed until I find something that isn't about Kiki. Oh, this is a fun one, by the way. I like this one.
I'm a lot of fun. I'm a fun guy.
He's a fun guy.
I'm a lot of fun.
That's a good one by Mike. Let's see. Still talking about. Twitter won't even load. Every single post that Twitter will allow me to load is about seething. Seems like he's not mad. He's not mad, chat. He's having a great time.
If you want me to talk about that, I'm not going to.
Maybe you should. Maybe you get some stream numbers.
I had some stuff to get off my chest, and I did. And now it's good.
Is it though?
Now she can go back into the waste bin. The way Nick verbally abused Kiki yesterday, shame counselor. Be mad about it. Tell everybody how you don't feel anything. It'd be great.
I don't think people are mad about this situation. I don't think that's what people are doing. I think they're laughing at you. Okay, nobody's upset. There was, oh, heaven to Betsy, this man has accosted a female on the internet. No, they're just laughing about how one woman took on 5 guys at the same time and made you all look like fools. And I've actually seen some people that were coping and refusing to admit how bad Nick looked on that stream. There was one clip I saw. It's like, well, I can't say that Nick won because the Dabbleverse is my Bible or something. It was pretty funny. How's it going there with the wrist? Great, good work on that video. I used your intro video again. Hope you don't mind. But a great channel. Go check them out for all the premium edits.
And the stage's been really, really slimy.
Somehow, White Claw Bev seems like a genius compared to that lady that yelled at you for 3+ hours the other day.
Wait, some lady yelled at me for 3+ hours? No, I yelled at a lady yesterday for 3+.
Maybe he was thinking of his wife.
Hours. But was there someone else? I mean, that could be. I don't know. Translation, Nick verbally abused a woman while she defeated 4 grown men yelling at her. Yeah, she deserved it.
What do you mean she deserved it? She just gained notoriety. Everybody's calling her, like, everybody's saying Keanu W. She got a bunch of attention. She got a bunch of support. She got a bunch of money. She deserved it. Maybe she did. I mean, I think she got what she deserved. She did, because she very handsomely benefited from that verbal beatdown that she gave you and those 4 other cuckleheads.
I would do it again any day of the week.
Seems like he doesn't care. He'd do it again anytime.
I mean, I won't actually do it again because I don't want to talk to her anymore. I've said all I need to say.
Not if you look at his Twitter account.
But the whole like yelling at her, yeah, I would do it the same way every single time. Fuck her. Shadow of the Day. Great song. Waiting for the day the likes of Keanu, Aaron, Monica Rial, Jamie Markey, Rontoya, Greg Doucette, Dominique Sky, Renfamous Mars Girl, Shane Holmberg, PPP, Worski, Duncan, etc. get their comeuppances. Well, for some of them, life is a comeuppance. I don't know.
Now, this is kind of funny, but people have been saying that this is Nick's death note. And there's actually a really funny clip that I believe Scarebro found from the past that I'll show you. I actually remember it vaguely, but in present context, it's so funny. But I'll show that after this. But who are the 2 people do you think he really hates? Like, there's quite a few people there in that list. Who are the 2 that you think he really hates?
I don't I don't care about any of those people and like what happens to them. I mean, I have a lot of animosity towards 2 people on that list right now, and would openly state that I don't really care for them to be on this earth anymore. I'm not going to do anything about it. Like, I don't.
Yeah, because he's an impotent cuckold. Of course, he's not going to do anything about it. The only thing he can do is scream at women in cornered elevators. And when he's online and when he's got that air barrier, so he can't actually physically impose on them, and he has to deal with actually talking to them, he loses. Unbelievable.
But I just I don't like them. And they've harmed my life enough that they can they could just be gone. I'd be
No, you've done this yourself. It's always somebody else's fault. You harmed your life by bringing in the drugs, the alcohol, the debauchery, and abandoning your vows and your duties as a father. You did this. Stop blaming other people. Until you take responsibility, nothing's going to get better for you.
Happy about that. I would have no problem celebrating it. But that being said, outside of that, I don't really give a shit about any of those people. Like their ramblings and whatever are ultimately irrelevant.
Their ramblings. Yes.
In all of this, you realize really quickly that the government can take your kids. Some guy or girl yelling at you online is really unimportant when the government can take your children.
Now, the thing is, the government does suck, and the government can do things incorrectly from time to time. The majority of people have not had their kids taken away by the government. That's not like this crazy thing that just happens to everybody. Oops, government's took my kids again. This is so rare in society that Nick actually changed the demographics in his county. He's like 20% of all children taken away in the county, something crazy like that for his demographics. That's why the cops actually said this to him. And Nick said this. He's like, usually people like you don't fuck up like this. Even the people arresting him were flabbergasted that someone so privileged, someone who had it all, would make such a fuck up. Like, you can kind of understand it if it's like someone that's like, you know, they've got nothing in their life and they live on the street, and the drugs or alcohol, their only escape from the nightmare that their society or that their life is, you know, something like that. And then they've got kids and they get taken. You can kind of understand the person doing drugs in that situation. But Nick had everything. He took drugs because he was bored of his regular life. He was bored of having a house and 5 kids and a wife and millions of dollars in super chats. That was just too boring. He's not a boring boy like you. He couldn't just paint his Warhammer figures. He couldn't just sit back, drink whiskey while other people did work, and he raked in money hand over fist, earning $20,000 a day. No, he couldn't do that. He's like, you know what? I think I'm going to fuck this up for a crumb of Aaron's wife's pussy. Genius play there. Genius play.
So I just don't give a shit about any of them. They can go live their lives in the way that they want.
All right, so Nick doesn't hold grudges. He doesn't care. Let's take a look at this. Scarebro posted on Twitter saying, depending on your point of view, yes, Nick Rekieta did claim to have a kill list and write about them in his school and write about his school burning down. At best, someone who, with this exhibitionism, reveled in making others uncomfortable as a form of control, and he read when prevented. Given current events, this is disturbing. So this is Nick and his death note. Let's take a look. This is look at these. Look how fresh-faced Bronco looks without the beard. He looks like a little boy. Like, I think the beard is an improvement. Bronco's doing pretty good for himself. Happy to hear that. Legal Bites, they used to be friends. Do you remember that? This is back before the Law Tube Civil War. Legal Bites is doing pretty well for herself as well, as I understand it. Let's see what Nick has to say.
Because I wrote stuff down all the time. I like to make people feel on edge and apprehensive. I didn't have any desire to kill anybody, but I had a kill list.
That's a whoa buddy right there. He used to talk about the book of grudges that dwarves had. He actually had a list. He actually had his own death note.
I wrote poems about the school burning down and read them to the class when in creative writing class and stuff like that.
He wrote poems about his school burning down. Like, I'm trying to think of one. Like roses are red, violets are blue, gasoline burns, and I hope you do too, or something. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean by this? I read this out to my class. Oh, buddy, look, the cat in the background. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I forgot to turn on the ceiling cats, which I'm supposed to do after the first super chat. There we go. Oh man, that's bad.
And
wait, you're not joking. Like, you actually did these things?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was just edgy. It was just edgy shit, right? There was no intention there.
She doesn't look impressed. She doesn't look impressed. Bronco's not saying anything. He's like, look, I've got the law of self-defense here, not the law of how to murder people. Oh my goodness. Just that first part is so crazy.
I like to make people feel on edge and apprehensive. I didn't have any desire to kill anybody, but I had a kill list.
The kill list. I need an edit of that Death Note scene where he's doing the exterminate thing. Execute. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Alrighty. Whew. All right, now we get into the nanny stuff. All right, so the clips are kind of out of order, but we're going to try and go through this in the way that seemed logical to me. I pre-watched everything and tried to make like the story more coherent, although some of these events do happen before and after. But let's see what Nick has to say. This is on the PAS podcast, PAS. Let's see what Nick has to say. And I believe he was also sending these chicks like sexy pics at the same time. Like there's pictures of a skinny Nick who looks like Eugenia Cooney in a bathroom, but I'm not going to show them here.
The former nanny, by the way, that bitch, I've been finding out, she gave my 11-year-old alcohol
Now these women are very disgusted by this. Now you should not give children alcohol if you're not their parent. When I was a kid, my dad gave me like a sip of beer from now and then. Like nothing wrong with that, but that's the parent's choice. So unacceptable. If this is true, frankly, I don't believe it. Like, I will put a poll in the chat. Do you think the nanny gave the kids alcohol? Did nanny give the kids a little sip? There we go. Put a poll. I don't think this is true. I think that what's happening here is that the kids were either caught with alcohol or the alcohol went missing. And now that the nanny's gone, the kids are using her as a useful excuse. Kids make up lies all the time, especially when they may have done something that's not technically correct. Like I told this story before, but when I was a kid, we were staying in a holiday home, and it had like a deck. Okay, and the deck, it was like there was a gaps between the wooden planks. As a child, I would climb under that deck. And I found a bunch of money because people would drop their money when they went to put in the vending machine. So I would find this lost money. And it was actually like quite a lot of money. I think it was like 30, 40, 50 bucks, which as a child, like as like a 10-year-old child, that's a lot of money. And my parents eventually found this stash of money that I've been collecting because I was a bit of a hoarder myself. It was like a little dragon or whatever, making my golden hoard. And I didn't know how to explain this. Like I didn't technically do anything wrong, but I felt a need to lie to my parents to explain this away. And I said like, we found a bird's nest, and there was like the birds, like they collect shiny things. And we just took the money from the bird's nest. And my parents didn't believe this whatsoever. And they're probably concerned about me because a child having a lot of money is a strange thing. Like, and the parents should indeed try and find out where they found or how they acquired that money. The point is that kids make these stories up all the time. So now that the nanny's missing and these stories are just now coming up, I don't believe these for a second. Now, Nick would go on to clarify that it was a sip of a White Claw, which I think is like 5%. So it's like a sip of beer, basically. So if it is true, it's still wrong, but it's not like these people, like, look at this face. They're talking to a man that has a child that tested positive for cocaine. And they're like, oh, she had a White Claw? The selective outrage is very interesting, don't you think? That would be my first thing that I would notice there. Indiana Joe Star with 5 says, remember everyone, if Nick comes at you, remind him that the price of his wife's nudes has been set by a government for an easy dunk. Yes, he gets very upset about that. That's an easy way to get blocked by him if you start talking about Kayla. Dolby with 5 says, nobody will forget Keanu pointing out that Nick was taking huffing breaks, whippets, and coming back with a deeper voice. 0 days clean, absolutely felt it. I mean, either way, it's bad. If he was doing the hip whippets or not, I mean, the voice changes are a bit strange. He's either rage quitting because he can't handle the stress, which is embarrassing, especially on the internet, and multiple comeback rage quits, or he's just doing the whippets. So either way, it's an L for him. There's no good situation there. Scarecrow said, dwarves live in mines, hobbits in burrows. You're pretty cool. Stay home tomorrow. Wait, I gotta try. How do I make this rhyme properly? Dwarves live in mines, hobbits in burrows. You're pretty cool. Stay home tomorrow. Nick Rekieta. Look, some of you guys in chat are cool. Don't go to an elevator tomorrow. And Scarecrow says also, or when they want drug dad to pay attention. This is true also, is kids will make up stories that even negative stories so that their parents are more engaged in their lives, which is really sad because it would show that it's a cry for help.
She paid when my daughter had a friend over to stay the night, she paid each of them $75 to chug 2 Monster energy drinks in a row.
Why? This does not make $75. This woman, most people like in America don't make $150 a day. If you're trying to make money, this is your job. Why are you giving children $75 each? $150? What do you mean? To drink Monster energy drinks? Why? If you're a nanny, you want the kids to go to bed. You don't want them to be hyper and energetic. This makes no fucking sense. I don't believe this story ever whatsoever. There's no way this is true.
What?
Yeah, finding out about this shit has been really nice.
Now, some people have made the argument that Nick was... so Nick will later claim in these clips that the nanny was stealing alcohol from them as well, and that Nick blames some other person. That wasn't April or Aaron at this time. Although I guess it could have been. There is a little bit of an overlap where when Aaron was there. So maybe it was Aaron. Maybe he was suggesting Aaron. Maybe it was the 17-year-old son. But Nick got very mad that somebody was stealing his alcohol, which he said, strangely enough, was valued at $150. So the kids have had this $150 of alcohol goes missing, and then the kids suddenly have $75 each. It's a little bit strange how that lines up. Not necessarily the case that is true, but the kids stealing the alcohol, giving it to their friends, selling it. It's a much more likely story than the nanny was giving them booze. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's true or not. It sounds like it makes a lot more sense to me.
But yeah. She stole my liquor like crazy, but I thought it was someone else. And I actually I griped at the person who I thought was drinking the alcohol. I was like, because I'd come back from
very nice,
like a 2-day trip or whatever, and there'd be like bottles of whiskey missing. And some of these things, are like $150 bottles. So I'd care that they were gone. And I thought it was someone else. And it turns
so also notice the importance in his life. He has no idea that the kids are doing $75 shots of Monster. He has no idea that the nanny's giving them Coke. The second a drop of his whiskey is missing, he knows immediately. He can sense it. It's like literally that's his dragon hoard. If somebody's been sneaking around in my balldo bunker, taking my drops of whiskey that are on well, actually there'll be, I guess, no drops of whiskey on the carpet because he licks the bottle. It's interesting priorities.
Out, she would just I've been finding this out for my kids. Like she would just go up into our bedroom and just pound down liquor sitting in bed, and that's how she was nannying our children. So
all right, I got an interesting DM that says kids are stealing booze and selling it so they can buy food to eat because the side piece and the mother doesn't feed them. That's very funny but very sad at the same time. But a little bit of dark humor is fine. I mean, maybe they were having to sell money, selling the booze just to get by. They're like living it. It's like the stalker situation over there. They're in the shadow of Chernobyl. They're going down to the camp and dealing with the people selling the vodka so that they can get food and anti-rad or whatever. Just living in the Minnesota. Jefferson Z Post says kids emulate their parents. Nick, you liar. This is very true as well, and this is what makes the bunkers drug safe very interesting question to me. Because absolutely, kids emulate their parents all the time, and Nick is constantly drinking on stream. And the kids did see his stream; they knew about his stream. People in his co-op constitutional school class, the kids would talk about him, and they were like asking him, like, "Can we watch your videos?" He's like, "No, you can't watch them," but they knew about them, so it's not hard to find. You just search for Rekieta. Like the spelling of his name makes it very easy to find his channel, despite that Nick will tell you that he's being shadow banned, which he absolutely is not. So the kids will watch him doing this. He talks about how cool it is to drink, how cool it is to do drugs, how cool it is to have a mistress. Like this is like one of the most shocking things about all of this. As I mentioned this like last stream, is that Nick is teaching his sons that it's okay to have a second bitch if you get married. Nick actually has a clip where he was talking about how he doesn't believe in the institution of marriage anymore as well. Although he couldn't leave Kayla because of his marriage to a. He couldn't be with April because of his marriage to Kayla. But yeah, kids are doing these drugs all the time, and they've got access to drugs because it's in the house. It's being left around the place. The cops found it within 10 minutes. That's how easy it was to find. It's totally possible that the kids were just ingesting it because they were copying daddy. I don't think that Nick... I'm kind of curious about this. I wonder if Nick knows that he's such a bad person, or if he's creating this alternative reality in his own mind where Aaron and Keanu are the bad guys and they have to be stopped. They're like literally just the essence of evil, and that's why he gets to be so mad about them, because he can't rationalize in his own mind just how much danger he put his entire family into. Scarecrow also says, Nick Jr., your dad's got a ton of drugs and booze. We watch his drunken ass Coke streams, score us some, or get stuffed in a locker nerd. Well, I mean, the thing is, Nick's kids are small for their size as well. They're like that's what Nick's grandfather said in his letter to the court. He said, like, you know, Nick's sons, they're small for their size, but they still play soccer or football, I guess, if you're a non-American, with the best of them, right? So it's almost like they're underfed or something. Dorby also said drugs are fun and expensive goods. Drugs are safe. Nick, very true. Thank you very much. Big support today on the stream. Almost actually more than 1,000 people watching us right now. But let me have a look at the likes. Oh, we got less than 400 likes. I need 50 people to like the stream right now, and I'll shut up about it. And if you don't press the like button, I'll have to play the Nick clip again. In fact, I have to let you know, because I'm being shadow banned. I'm being oppressed by YouTube. So you got to hit that button.
Hit like if you like the show. If you don't like the show, don't hit like or hit thumbs down. Be like, this guy sucks. I don't mind. But if you do like the show, hit that like button. It really does. I got to remind YouTube that I'm here. They are not distributing things out.
You know, the funny thing is, Nick is streaming right now. And we're almost, if we get another 50 people to watch our stream, then this is actually, of the 2 Rekieta streams that are going on tonight, this will be the larger of the 2. So I guess maybe I can start giving him tips after that. But let's continue.
So it's been nice to learn about.
It's nice. It's fun.
I might report her to the police. I don't know.
And I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. All right, so I think there was a bunch of Nanny streams. He had his own like Nanny sees stream, and then he talked about it on his thing. But this is the synopsis. We'll go through the notes that was, I believe this was Melty Butter's work on Kiwi Farms. If not, then I apologize. This is the synopsis. Let's see. I'm taking notes in real time, and behind the thread, this is getting crazy. It needs to be clipped. Daughter told us in the last couple of weeks that the nanny gave them alcohol. To be clear, this was the nanny we had before April. It was a little jarring. The nanny's name is Shani, and it's been edited out, although Nick will talk about her quite a bit. Have no desire to protect her identity anymore. Fuck her. He actually, like, essentially calls his horde of people to, like, go harass her, which I'll show you later. No, I don't want folks to harass her. I just don't care if people know who she is. I do want people to know that she gave people alcohol. You don't know this. This is just a story that you've heard, allegedly. We don't even know if this story is even true from your child, or if they even told the story. Maybe you're just making it up. Because some people have suggested that Nick now believes that his ex-nanny is the Minnesota Public Records, and that's why he's trying to discredit her, to get ahead of a story that apparently is coming out. Because while I am a little bit confused why Minnesota Public Records hasn't dropped the alleged 70 pages they have, maybe they're waiting for some event. I don't know. It seems like Nick is he always starts to start doing these little like pre-work, trying to get ahead of everything with when these big drama drops happen. I wonder what'll happen up with the body cam. I mean, he's already started to talk about the piles of clothes in his house, multiple piles. He says they're all color coordinated, though. Not sure about that. We'll have to wait and see. Like, do people still separate their clothing when they wash them now? Like, I just throw all my shit in the same wash together, and I have no problems. My whites are whites, and my darks are darks. It's fine. I'm a very progressive person with my washing. Let me see. She committed a crime, reported on me. Now she was an informant on one of these people, right? I don't mind if people hear that she committed a crime against my children. She was one of the people who was interviewed despite not being in the home since mid-February. Well, she was, I believe the CPS interviewed her in February. She didn't disclose this at the time, but there is a February CPS report against her. Specifically, we didn't know about it. Now, this is how Nick lies. We're going to have a look at this. So Nick says, the CPS report is against her. Now, I believe I have this. Here it is. So this is, Nick has been saying this as well. He's been lying to his audience, saying, the nanny CPS report was against her by my daughter's dance instructor, actually. Now, if we look at this is from the, I believe, 15th of February, 2023. Child Protection Intake says, Candy High County Health Services screened a report of neglect of, I believe, the 2 daughters by Mrs. Rekieta and Mr. Rekieta and an unnamed nanny, that's the nanny he's referring to, for inadequate provision of physical needs, food, clothing, and shelter, due to not enough details as to how this is affecting the children's daily functioning. No indication it is daily that they haven't eaten at all. No indication they aren't offered food. Screened out because it does not meet maltreatment criteria. So this is a report against Nick, because people were complaining that Nick's children were smelly and Nick's children were hungry and Nick's children were wearing the same clothes day after day. And then because the unnamed nanny is in this report about him, he then goes to say that this is a CPS report against her, because she was taking them to the dance instructor, and maybe the dance instructor was the reporter that is unnamed in the court. Nick does this so many times. He takes the things that are about him and then tries to say that this is about Aaron or this is about his nanny. Like, he tries to say all these things. It's insane. And his audience believes this. Thanks, Candy Ohio County, for not informing us. Well, they were investigating you. So let's see. And then there was a question here. Did he report her? So that was the question, as they were wondering, maybe Nick reported the nanny himself. I don't think that is the case. Nanny's story continued. Yes, it was from Melty Butter. I was correct. He was paying her well north of $50,000 a year. Extra expenses were $30,000. And I think Nick actually went to go on and say it was more than this. So something in the range of like basically $90,000 US a year on this nanny. He later clarifies that they were for groceries and food for the kids. Of course, we all remember the $3,000 snack budget that I gotta see this. I got like, if Shani's out there, if the nanny's listening to this, if she ever makes contact, she's got to send me a copy of that receipt. I need to see what snacks these kids are buying, what she's buying for the kids. I have to see this. She called Kayla from the master bedroom around 9 a.m., clearly intoxicated, when Nick and Kayla were at a convention, and she was what? Well, when they say convention, I assume they mean. Does anyone want to take a bet? Does anyone want to take a bet that this was the day that they were? This was like the New Year's Eve or sorry, Christmas Eve when they were going to fuck Aaron in April at the casino. She was watching the kids. She was supposed to be watching the kids. My daughter's telling me these stories. I'm horrified. Well, apparently not as horrified about the Coke story, but okay. Whined about being abandoned by her during a stressful period. So Nick is complaining that Shani, the nanny, abandoned him. She never had any knowledge of the drug use. I doubt it. She did. What she did is what she did. And what she did was separate. He has no interest in re-traumatizing his daughter by filing charges, aka he has nothing to go on because he's he sent 15 pages to the county about Kayla against Aaron. He has made her new employee aware he can't afford a nanny anymore, so he's broke. He's broke. All right. Now, like I said, the going between these clips will be a little bit. There'll be a bit of repetition here, but I think it's important. So I think we can close this one. Yeah, we don't need this one anymore. All right. So this is called People Defending the Nanny, F the In-Laws, F the Pastor. And this one's quite interesting, although I will clear these chats out quick. Check your DMs. Okay, I'll do that in a second. Bob Tube says, maybe his 5K local gift is a body cam. That is, do you think that Nick would do this? Like if Josh Moon says he's got the body cam and he's going to show it on Friday on his show, Mad at the Internet, do you think Nick would broadcast the body cam himself to try and at least get one final grift off, or to try and give context to the story? Because he's been talking about how nobody looks good in a body cam, which I think is probably true. But from what we've heard, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad in the Baldo bunker. Abacus Finch with the 20 says, I ran into Chrissy Meyer in April in the wild during Chrissy Meyer's Minnesota tour. Right before April met Nick, I recognized Chrissy, and April immediately turned to me and insistently asked if I knew her too. It felt really odd. That's strange. Oh, so you met Chrissy and you said, hi, Chrissy, I know you. And then April was like, do you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? I mean, she was like the co-host on the Steel Toe show, right? So, I mean, it's a little bit sad. It's a little bit sad, but I thought this was going to be like the Milky Bar story. Like he met Chrissy Meyer in a in a bodega and she was scanning Milky Bars independently or something. Although Chrissy Meyer, do you know she stole she stole Christmas presents from a child at one point in her career? Like literally in a restaurant, there's a story where she talks about literally stealing Christmas presents from people as a funny joke. Anyway, Dolby with a 5 says, blame it all on the nanny unless you're sleeping with the nanny. True. Now, Nick will go on to talk about... all right, hold on. Just check the Twitter real quick. See what Scarecrow has for us. It's been pretty... Usually I wouldn't interrupt for random DMs, but let's see. Oh, this is pretty messed up as well. All right, let's see. We'll quickly watch this. Okay, let's see. And he also says, theory, he blames the nanny for the house decline when he quit. Probably does. That's why he hates Aaron so much. All right, it says, Melton, I wrote a song 13 years ago about having sex. What the actual fuck? Let's see what they say. 30 seconds.
You wrote a song about it, didn't you?
I wrote a song about what?
Pedophilia.
I wrote a song about pedophilia.
It's not you? Then I'm mistaken.
I wrote a song 13 years ago.
Okay.
About a 6-year-old and a 5-year-old having sex.
That's actually... Oh, my God. That's actually... Oh, my God. That's actually...
These are the people that Nick has decided to throw his lot in with, by the way. This is Nick's greatest allies. Like, when people say, like, oh, you can't call Melton a PDF file, like, he just says these things. Like, what do you expect from me? Like, even if you added their ages together, it'd still be illegal. All right. Okay, let me see. So fuck the nanny. Let's see what this says. I think I was watching this on 2 point speed. Yeah, there we go. So I'll turn this down. All right. Let's see what Nick says.
We can talk about how there are people out there defending the person who illegally gave my child alcohol.
No. We're defending the nanny because we have no reason to believe she did this. We're not defending the act of somebody that is not their parent giving their child an alcohol. That is detestable and you should never do it, because if a parent chooses to do that, that's one thing. There's no evidence that this exists. That's what people are defending, is that the nanny probably didn't do anything wrong and you're just seething about it. And in fact, people contacted the lawyers that Shani worked for 6 years. And it says, she was our nanny for 6 years. I saw the videos. She would never, ever do something like that. There is no reason to believe that nanny's done anything apart from Nick's own actions. I think he just projects all of his mistakes onto other people. I think that's what's happening here. Like, he had so many whiskey bottles lying around the house. Like, it seems like a pretty easy thing for the kids to just find one and say, like, oh, daddy does it, so why not me? Also, I was going to say this, but like the combination safe, I just figured out what the combination is. I guarantee you the combination to Nick's magical drug safe, even though it's always unlocked, so you don't have to actually worry about that. But I guarantee you the 4-digit password to his safe is 1224. Anyone can guess why? We'll have to see, because you know people always make significant others' birthdays into like codes that are easy to remember. That's why I guarantee you it is 1224. See if you can guess why. See if you can guess why.
I have somehow like, whew, boy, I pissed a lot of people off. They're willing to defend someone who did that.
People are pretty mad when they hear that somebody's daughter tests positive for cocaine. So I guess this is a true statement. We got it. We got it. That's Aaron's birthday. I guarantee you the safe is Aaron's birthday because he misses his man. He misses his man.
That's amazing.
It's
They're
not
like,
April's,
yeah?
it's Aaron's.
Well, it's your fault. How? The person you hired to take care of your kids while you're gone? Yeah, you should have been around instead of having that person there. But sorry to have a job. I don't know. Shifting the blame? No, that.
Yeah, but Nick always takes responsibility for his actions.
Shifting the blame at all. What I did was what I did. I've literally gone before the court under oath and said exactly what it was.
And Nick never lies. You have to remember that's an important detail to this story, is Nick is the most truthful man perhaps ever.
Took responsibility for it entirely. Taking care of it in my personal life. You know, like not. You know, what I didn't do is I guess I didn't film all the personal apologies and you know, expressions of remorse and like I didn't do that and air them to the world. I guess I should have done that individually to like each one of my children, to my wife, to my parents. I'm not going to apologize to my in-laws, them, the ones who literally the community that reported me were not the community at all.
Your in-laws are your community. What are you talking about? You live in Minnesota to be close to your wife's family. You talked about this before. You hate living in Minnesota. You want to move to Texas. That is your community. Just because you don't like them doesn't mean they're not your community.
And that story I may elaborate on at some point, but not today. But yeah, those people don't get apologies from me. Not in the slightest. The in-laws who, you know, were not scumbags did get apologies from me. You know, because I did let some of them down. Of course. Yeah, like I guess I should have filmed that, you know, and uploaded all of those conversations. That would be appropriate. People would then be like, "Oh, finally he's accepting responsibility."
It's not about the actual act of apologizing. You can do that in private. Nobody cares about it. It's your action now that is so outrageous. Like spending all of these hours seething at Aaron, who's just some guy that talks about fucking golf in Minnesota. Nobody gives a shit, okay? I tried watching the Toe show and it's just like, oh, I was having a beer while I was playing golf. Am I right, fellow dads? Like, I'm like, I don't get it. Why does this man cause so much anger and seething that like people will literally fly to fucking Vegas to talk about him? Like, I don't understand. Somebody make it make sense. Make it make sense to me.
In-laws as in wife's family. Yes. No, my other in-laws, I suppose. Spurgs want a personalized apology. Should I set up a Cameo and be like, if you're someone who is really mad at me on Twitter, I'll give you the Cameo for free. I'll apologize to you. Whatever. I'll grab.
I mean, maybe setting up a Cameo is a good idea because he needs the money. Like he's made it so that super tips can now interrupt his show at any time because he's so desperate for people to use them. And actually, it was a very funny thing that it's very true is that YouTube hates it when you send money off platform or let links off platform. Using the super tips is probably unironically causing Nick more financial harm because he's got that quick time. I think several people have noticed this. I think the first person I saw that noticed it was Third World Aristocrat, but I believe Scarecrow mentioned this as well. By using super tips, it's like a very quick way to get money because it does pay out sooner than YouTube, but it's hurting him a long time because his channel's analytics are going off the fucking cliff. Nick was actually so privileged that he was making so much money on YouTube in super chats that he got a YouTube rep, like I think at like 40 or 50,000 subs. Usually you get that at 100 subs as just a matter of course, but the YouTube was so interested in how much money he was bringing into the table because he was like, I think he was in the top 10 for the US, maybe even the first. Before the VTuber Rat Menaces came and stole the title from him. They wanted to see how he was doing so well. It really, and now look at him. Now look at him. He's struggling. He's suffering. He's suffering and deserves it. Janan John Doe with the £5 says, on August 22nd, 2024, Nobody Likes Onions video, Scotland Tard, Aaron Imholte gears up for humiliation. Patrick Melton defends AI CP for over 9 minutes with a timestamp. I've seen this as part of the expose on Melton. I don't understand this idea that we have to appease the there's this oh, we could use AI to make CP so that the pedophiles will be happy. Why do we have to appease the pedophiles? Well, oh, we're sorry, pedophiles. We're gonna make this digital. No, just fuck them. Either they get their shit in line or they go on the fucking wall. No. We don't have to make life better for them. They have to conform to society by either removing themselves from a society or training themselves out of their disgusting urges. Extremely Happy Simmer with a 10 says, by the way, be careful of how you pronounce Schadenfreude. Oh, yeah. Apparently, when I say it, I'm saying something else. When you pronounce the A like I, it sounds like Schadenfreude, which translates as poussée joy. Okay. How do I say this correctly? Schadenfreude. I don't know. Sorry.
In front of
I can barely speak English. You expect me to speak German?
I don't know. I don't know what they want. So Al D'Alessandro, he without sin let him cast the first stone.
Also, speaking of the map content, I guess, since we're on the topic, Nick used to go out on the limb and say that Cuties was wrong and you shouldn't have these sort of things. And he's turned around and started defending it. It makes no fucking sense. I guess now he starts hanging out with Melton. It makes sense that Cuties is just an interesting piece of art you can see on Netflix.
And I find really interesting about that
do I say Schadenfreude?
Is
Schadenfreude? Whatever.
Jesus doesn't throw a rock either.
Oh yeah, here we go. Get ready for it, guys. We've got a classic Rekieta-ism. Jesus was just a dude. Let's see what he has to say.
And he could, under the law, but he doesn't throw a rock.
This is Jesus.
And I know we all go like, oh yeah, but he's Jesus.
Yes.
He wouldn't throw a rock.
Yes, he's Jesus.
Like, well, I think the wording of that's really interesting. See, I don't think Jesus saw himself as sinless.
I'm not the most religious person, but my understanding is that Jesus was the sinless man, the only person in the history that didn't have any sin. That's the reason he could come to earth and die on the cross and absolve our sins. Am I wrong about this? Isn't Jesus the one person in all of history who is sinless? And he's just well, he's just a guy. He's just a guy. What do you mean?
I really don't. I don't know if it would be humility, or anything. I guess it's man's job to venerate God. It's not God's job to venerate himself. And I don't think Jesus did. I think it's a really powerful line, honestly. And I do find it weird that people are so allergic to the idea of Jesus meeting us where we are. I mean, that was the whole point of coming down.
Yeah, he met us. He met
us
on
to meet
Earth.
us where we are, and they're like, "Yeah, but he was above everybody."
But he walked on water. What do you want? What do you want from the man? He was Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness.
He didn't act that way, and I don't think he saw himself that way. Like we can see him that way. That's fine.
When he was on the cross, didn't he shout out God, why have you forsaken me? I'm pretty sure he saw himself as a sinless person. He wasn't fucking dumb. Oh my goodness. Jefferson C. Post says super tits for quick money. Nick's gone the DSP way. Yeah, he's got to hit the vest goal. That's going to be the next thing. He's going to put on the red shirt goal.
You say no, he was actually sinless and perfect.
Yes,
but you're self-critical, right? You think about that. What does God criticize himself about? I think that's cool. Probably get arrested again for that video too. For that.
This is the current cope that Nick is saying that he got arrested because the pastor saw his blasphemy streams, which I think came after his arrest, if I'm being honest. And that was the reason that the pastor reported him to the cops, because he didn't like what Nick was saying about doing his own sermons or whatever. It doesn't make any sense. This is not true. I don't believe it. Show us the reports. Nick has the reports. Just show us them if this is true.
Clip right there.
Clip it. Alyssa.
That was fun when the pastor.
I mean, she did. That's why we're watching it. Like the video.
Admitted to the police interviewer that the reason they were willing to report on me was because someone sent a highly edited video of me talking about.
The pastor is a court-mandated reporter. It's his responsibility, his legal responsibility to report these things. The highly edited video that they were sent is probably you with your nose covered in fucking powdered sugar.
Faith in the Bible.
It's funny and weird.
Fantastic. Good people out there. Yeah, I was willing to report on him from the stuff that I had no personal knowledge of because someone sent me a video and I didn't like what he said in it. Oh, good. F you. Hope you catch fire. Why did you let the nanny continue to be the nanny if you found out she was drunk while watching the kids?
This is a really good question. And there's going to be some dead air for a moment. We're going to see some edits of this. All right, so this is a very good question. Why did you let the nanny stay there? Another good question might be, why did your wife go back to the massage place after the guy rubbed her tits? And she went back to, she couldn't lose that coupon for the two session deal. But this is a great question. Why did Nick wait 1 week? 1 week to fire his nanny.
Fire? Why did you let the nanny continue to be the nanny if you found out she was drunk while watching the kids? All of this stuff happened within like a week. It was really fast.
Dead air.
I don't know, like how you fire someone faster, but it was crazy.
I don't know. Okay, that's a very important line. I don't know how you fire somebody fast. All right, let's check the tapes, shall we? Let's check the tapes. This is before. This is well before. This is July 6, 2024. So almost an entire year ago. This is what Nick was saying. This is on Camelot's stream, I believe. So let's
is there any reason why the nanny left? I don't, because we've never talked about that. Like, you never told me like why you had one.
It's really fuzzy. I'll say yes. Obviously, there's a reason that the nanny left, and we got one story from her, and I don't think that story was honest.
Wait a second. I thought you fired her a week after she was drunk on the job.
Because I've seen some other information about it, and I don't want to put her on blast in any way. Like it just happened.
All right. So basically, the theory is that the nanny was propositioned into the sex cult that Nick was running, or he was trying to start with his quadruple, truple, whatever it's called. And she was disgusted because she could see Aaron and could see April coming over and doing all this weird shit. Now, Nick went on after the nanny was being defamed by Nick, saying that she was doing all these terrible things. Aaron came out and said that the nanny was disgusted by all of this, and that's why she left. And then Nick said she was disgusted by you, to which Aaron responded, she was disgusted by the entire situation, as any normal person would be.
So it was sudden and kind of devastating for us. But hey, it is what it is, and you don't really get to like object to the I object. You have to stay. No, I mean that like someone quits their job, they quit their job. No, I mean that like someone quits their job, they quit their job. Why did you let the nanny continue to be the nanny if you found out she was drunk while watching the kids? All of this stuff happened within like a week. It was really fast.
Oh yeah, they have the emotion. There's someone edited it in. It's better. Downloading. It's a good edit. I like it.
I don't know, like how you fire someone faster. And you
Now, this is strange because I've heard from very reputable sources that Nick never lies. So this is quite perplexing for me.
don't really get to like object to the like I object. You have to stay. You have to stay. But
so he wanted her to be there. In fact, he's mad because her going and leaving his profession means that he has to clean up the fucking house. And then he didn't, and then he got arrested.
It was crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, Nick asked her to finish the school. Yeah, like she was good enough. She was good enough that she was they wanted her to stay. Now, that was a year ago. Then a week ago, he said that he fired her. Now, as of, I believe, this was a few days ago. This was probably the same stream as the Keanu one. I'm not sure because he goes on that show, or at least is in the chat of that show so often. So he changed his story again. And now he's going back to saying that she quit. Let's have a look. Hold on, let's take a second to load. Whenever you get like the videos from the farms, they always take a second. I should probably like archive them or like locally store them or something, but it should be fine. That explains his nose. It was obvious all beginning. We should have known. We should have known.
They don't open the door for cops, but they open their mouths.
Yeah. What does that mean?
This person left. She left our employ. I think her last day was officially March 1st, but she gave her 2 weeks notice on February 16th and then was sick for at least 10, if not 12 of those days.
Sick of probably being around Nick. So she gave 2 weeks notice. It's like, he's just a compulsive liar. He just can't help it.
So that being said, she left. Now, she and my oldest daughter had a very complicated relationship because by the end.
Ooh, now this is a very strange part of it. And I think the very I don't want to. I have no reason to believe this is the case, but it is my assumption that the complicated relationship that the nanny had with their daughter is that the nanny was more of a mother, or more of a parent to the child than Nick or Kayla. I think that's the complicated relationship.
It was getting very tense. And
probably because the nanny was being there in their employ for 5 years, which is basically the entire life for some of these children. And she probably developed a bond with them, a protective maternal bond with these children. And then seeing what Nick, April, and Kayla were doing, she probably made the decision that she can't take the kids with her, so she had to get out of that situation because it's too painful to watch. That's what I think happened.
Daughter has been telling me is that basically the relationship between them was very manic.
I don't know what he means by this.
There'd be like, she would be up in some way. I'm not accusing her of being on any drug or anything like that. I'm just talking about emotionally. She would be up and she would, hang out with my daughter and watch rated R horror movies and stuff. I didn't know about any of this. That's not that big of a deal.
Now, again, like I don't think that's much of a big deal either. Although, again, she should probably get permission from the parents to do these. Like all of these things, the parents should know about this. These are the things you have to talk to your children about. You have to talk to your children. Say, how was your day? What did you do yesterday? How was last night with Cheney? What did you guys do? You have to ask it. Like these are like dinner time conversations. If like I hate these stories where like where parents come out and they're like, well, I had no idea the teacher was doing this. I had no idea my nanny was doing this. Like, why didn't you talk to your children and ask them about their lives?
Deal to me. I don't want to oversell it, but my daughter didn't know that wasn't a big deal to me until she started telling me. So she had mentioned several movies that they watched, and I was like, well, okay, I guess. And then she started talking more about the circumstances. But when the nanny left our employ, we thought it was because of the tension between those two at first. And then because she had sent an ambiguous message to Kayla about, because we were trying to figure out, we're like, why are you quitting? Like, what is going on? We don't know anything about it. She sent an ambiguous message to Kayla, and
probably because Nick propositioned her and she didn't know how to get out of the situation. She's probably like, I don't want to tell you that your husband tried to fuck me, but like this is just not working out anymore. There's so many different situations and they're all terrible. Like, what do you guys think actually happened here?
Thought that was about my 11-year-old daughter, and she felt like really horrible about that because she thought that it was her fault that the nanny was leaving. We finally got an exit interview with her.
That's really sad. Like, that the 11-year-old in this situation, the one that they have the closest bond with, she's like, why is the nanny leaving? Is it because of me? While the parents are like constantly drugged out and high and drunk, and they're like, we have no idea why she's leaving. What do you mean? Like, fucking hell. Fierce Rama says Cheney probably had to explain the 4-parent sleepovers. That could be it as well. That's probably part of it, honestly.
In April, right around tax time, and she said, no, that wasn't the reason at all. But she didn't disclose what the reason was. She told the police that she had become suspicious that there was some sort of relationship she didn't approve of in the house, and so that's why she decided to quit.
Now, you might say like that's being a busybody, but the majority of cases where children are mistreated by adults, it is almost always cases where the parents have brought these people into their lives. You see this a lot with like single parent households. The boyfriend or the girlfriend will join and they're an abuser, and they use the relationship with the parent as a means of getting to the child, especially if you have a sexual dynamic with these people. You have 2 adults that are coming in, you know nothing about them, and they're coming in, they're doing sleepovers, they're cooking for the parents. You are right to be concerned in these situations, because in these sort of degenerate throuple situations is where a lot of abuse comes from. Not necessarily like a throuple or a thing, but like when you have these like less than regular sexual relationship dynamics between groups of adults. This is a very dangerous part for children, okay? Bringing these unknown adults into your house and staying over multiple nights when everyone's asleep in the early hours of the morning, when they're unprotected, like when maybe someone's coked up, this like Nick is so drunk he can't get up unless there's like thunder outside or something. Like this is when these deviant, and I'm not saying that April and Aaron are deviant, but like in cases like this is what happens. They come into the house through these weird relationships, and then they use that position in the household. They gain authority in the household to take advantage of the vulnerable people in that situation. And maybe it's not the children, maybe it's the wife, maybe it's the girlfriend, maybe it's taking advantage of their finances or their drugs or anything. This is a very concerning thing to happen for any outside observer, and she was absolutely right to report it if she felt that there wasn't like 100% above board.
But she didn't know anything about it. She didn't ever witness anything specific. She's
like, this is another thing that Nick keeps saying is like, nobody knew. How could anybody know that this was happening when literally thousands of people were talking about it on the daily? He has a thread with over 9,000 pages now, over 180,000 posts. He's like, I don't know how anyone could realize that we were in this weird relationship when he was like the most active thread on Kiwi Farms, lol Calavia, twice in a year, because it was so obvious that people were commenting on it publicly.
That she just started to become uncomfortable with how often the Imholtz were around, and she believed that there might be something going on.
So I want to bring this up real quick because these are the
all right. I'm not gonna. This goes off on a tangent. That's the part I wanted to say. All right. So let's see. Why hasn't Cheney been reported to the law enforcement? All right. So I think it's just the last minute of this clip here.
Hasn't been here in.
Oh wait, no, sorry. This is a 1-minute clip. Go back to 1. There we go. All right. Let's see. Why hasn't he reported Cheney?
Sorry to hear about your nanny and what she exposed your kid to. Did you contact law enforcement and CPS? Sounds like abuse. I found out about these things long after our nanny had left, well over a year after that the alleged incidents occurred.
It was Bud said years ago.
So no, my children were no longer in any danger from this person.
Except from Nick, since he was throwing cocaine into the car at the traffic stop. Fucking hell.
So no, I have not contacted CPS or law enforcement about it.
It's still shocking to me that he gave that detail out.
I haven't decided if I will or not. We're still within the statute of limitations. So Eric Duff says, because it's a lie. Well, it isn't. Don't. Toe is claiming.
Hold on a second. Is that a fly?
Don't. Duff says, because it's a lie. Well, it isn't.
There's flies buzzing around his head. I heard the rumors were true, but look.
Limitations.
Look around here. There's like a fly buzzing around his head.
So Eric Duff says, because it's a lie. Well, it isn't. Don't. Toe is claiming he has been called by the county for nanny info. It's really surprising. You would think that they would call me, right? The parent of the child involved. But instead, no, they They've run to the source.
Well, no, they didn't call you. They arrested you, and then they found the cocaine and guns, and the smelly house and the piles of laundry, which we may soon see.
Authority on it. The person who hasn't been here in quite some time. They're going to run to him to see what he knows about it. He doesn't know anything. We're not going to get into it. We're not going to get into it.
Uh-huh. All right. So there was also, let's see, a retard has stated that someone has filed an ethics complaint against me for disclosing publicly that my former nanny gave my 11-year-old child alcohol. Your record may be too, but mine isn't. The LPRO has no interest in nor the ability to litigate this claim. In my response, I'll call her an abusive cunt, and I'll call you a fag, even though you aren't involved, fag. I have a shocking feeling that a lawsuit won't be coming, and if there is one, I look forward to collecting fees from that abusive cunt. I guess the lawsuit's going to happen now, because it's like, what are you going to do, stab me? Replies, stab man. What are you going to do, sue me? Replies, sued man. So I guess he's looking forward to collecting fees. That'll be the first time he's ever collected fees if it happens, which it won't. The only person collecting fees is Montegraph. He still owes him. Pay up $300. Oh, dear, dear, dear. All right. So now we go into... This one is the one I want to play from this one, I think. All right. Let me see. Or actually, wait. I got... Yeah, I think these timestamps are correct that I saved them in.
Oversell it or anything.
All right. So,
and like I don't want to oversell it or anything. It's just like a sip of like White Claw or something like that. And
now again, that's unacceptable if it is true. But a sip of White Claw, it does not quite compare to what was the level? 500 particle the metabolites in his daughter's hair. That's acceptable. That's fine. That's just forget about that. Just forget about that. But a sip of White Claw, that absolute monster, even though I don't believe that's true. And if it is true, that's unacceptable. But if that is the truth, it's literally nothing, fucking nothing. And he's trying to make this a big, it's 5,000. The cutoff was, yeah, that's right. That was 5,000. It was 10 times the limit. Oh my goodness. Now it's only a sip. Yeah, the trickle truth has started. I think what happened is what probably happened is that Nick heard this story, if he did indeed hear it at all. Then he had a big fit about it, and he's thinking about how he could finally get revenge on that bitch in his mind. I think she's a lovely lady that has done no wrong, as far as I can see. And then he probably tried to inquire with his, like he says, I don't want to re-traumatize my daughter. He probably interrogated his daughter, and then she revealed that it wasn't a big deal, and that's why he's backing off on it now. That's what I would imagine. Blanco Boy with a 20 says, last fall, Rekieta had a cooking stream where he put a pic of his kids in the frame and drew attention to it. Then he walked away, leaving only the pic in view. It was the creepiest map adjacent thing I've ever seen. I don't think it was a map adjacent thing. I remember seeing that, but I never talked about it. I think it was just like, hey, look at me. I'm a real person. Have sympathy for me, sort of thing, like using his kids as a shield, perhaps. Scarebro says, Nick is dissembling. He's always talking about people not witnessing from an evidentiary standard and gets mad as fuck when people strongly intuit truth. Yeah. Like Nick's lies fall apart so quickly when you just realize how he operates and what he does. Like the example with the CPS report in February against his nanny was actually against him. The nanny was just mentioned in it.
I think tons of people who grew up in the 80s, their parents would give them a sip of beer here and there. I don't think it was. That's all that.
All right. I don't think we need the rest. That's the only part I wanted to that clip, I believe. That's the CPS report. All right. Let's see. This is the truth about. Okay, so we're moving off the nanny stuff now. We got some last couple of things that I want to talk about. Basically, from everything that I've done or everything that I can find, the nanny has just completely done nothing, and he's just salty that perhaps that she either didn't respond to his sexual advances because Nick thinks he's a sexual god, even though the only report of sex with him is from the bed sheets bleeding because sex with him is so dry and boring. But anyway, anyone that's reported about this, nobody has anything bad to say about Shaney. There is no evidence these are true, and I think that Nick is just trying to push these sort of push the drama to other people. Now, he did say this as well, which was kind of interesting. This is the truth about the bullet on the couch. This is when Aaron said that Nick went over to his house and that he was never allowed to bring drugs into his house. But Nick sat down on the couch next to Aaron's 3-year-old, and the cocaine bullet dropped out of his pants. Now, we know that he can't even take a drive up the road without this cocaine bullet. So we know it was on him as person. Let's see what he has to say.
That's why she's broken up.
Oh, sorry.
But, she's...
Gotta stop watching these in 2-point speed. There we go.
I want to be very clear. Nobody saw that bullet anywhere near a child. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't because I'm pretty sure I was using it all night.
So not only is just the Aaron's bullet story just true, he gave out a second story where he put cocaine against his own child, and now he's saying that he would never ever have a cocaine bullet drop out of his own pants when he did it on his own he did it of his own volition. Rather, like, the kid knows what to do with the cocaine. He doesn't want to take the fall. The great parenting there. He's like, I'm pretty sure. Like, no. Then why did Aaron start seething at you guys and telling you to get the fuck out? Because the drugs were in the house. Because you brought the drugs into his house when he said, don't do that, because if my ex-wife finds out, then she's going to take my kids away, sort of thing. And also to protect his own kids. Because even though Aaron is a piece of shit, he's the shiniest piece of shit in the toilet. He's the shiniest one in the bowl. And at least he had some good sense, some common sense to get out of this situation. He was like, fuck this garbage. I want to look after my kids, and I want to watch golf, and I want to talk about it on my morning show. That's what Aaron did. He got out. And that's why Nick, I think, is also very angry at him, because Nick was not cool enough for Aaron to keep Aaron around. Aaron was like, I'm out. Peace. Like, Nick is also trying to say that he's like, they pushed Aaron out now, but Aaron left of his own volition. We already know that. Jacob Hampson with 100 DKK says, those are Donkey coins, I believe. I have nothing interesting to say, so take my money. Thank you. I wish there was more people like you. Although, leaving a comment if you're on replay or liking the videos, much appreciated as well.
Right.
Like,
or liking the video on Alyssa's channel, because lots of people watch it there too. That's actually kind of crazy. Like the one we did from last stream, I think it did like 5,000 views. So good for Alyssa. Alyssa's a good friend of the channel, and she's always welcome to clip my content until I go on a drug bender and I start blaming everybody, and then I'm going to get my revenge on her.
That was my stash. He says I brought the safe in. I never brought that safe in their house. I'm not an idiot. And the safe was about like this big, right? So it's maybe 18 inches and by about 6 inches by about 3 inches. And it's like a safe you could put in your car and put a gun in there or something, quick access type thing. And so it was in the back of my car. I would never bring it in their house because it's this huge safe and it had a bunch of drugs in it. And it just didn't belong.
Now, I don't think he would take it out of the car, not because he didn't want to, but because he doesn't have the strength to do so. Because I'm looking at his arms in this photo, and it's not looking good.
Belong in the house. I just didn't want to leave it at my house. If my kids were there, like with the nanny or whatever, I didn't want a pile of drugs in there. So
Right.
But it would just stay in the trunk of my car. And then I had my own little canister for it. But
isn't that really stupid though? So wouldn't it be safer to leave in the house? It's easier to get a car search than it is to get a house searched, as I understand it. Like, he's a lawyer, he should know this. And it also goes to show that he can't even go a few minutes without being next to his stash. He can't drive his daughter to school without having a cocaine bullet in his pocket. And he's going to tell you that he's like, well, I left everything in the car. I never bring it inside. This man couldn't leave his drugs alone. He couldn't go 30 feet away from them.
That's what I had. Like, if I needed more, I would have to go out and refill it. So when he's like, yeah, you left this on the couch. First of all, I don't sit next to children on couches because I'm a fucking adult.
What a statement. All right, so Nick Rekieta will never sit next to a child on a couch because he's an adult. Let's check out what the record says. Oh, wait a second. What is this? What is this? What is this, an adult?
Kitty. Button. Here, kitty. We'll see if he comes. I know I will. Inquisitor Lockhart, only because you're a sub will I do this.
Now, I think in part of this clip, he's drinking wine as his children come past. Oh, look, there's his kitty. The feet pics, degenerate chat.
The stream. Is that what we need to do?
This is the work of an adult that refuses to sit next to children, but he will dress up as a thought and surround himself in Beanie Babies. Very Vaporeon spotted. Oh no. No. Wait. No. It's funny and weird, isn't it? Hold on. I want to see if the clip where he's drinking the bottle of wine from the bottle. That's the funny part. Oh, here it is. Yeah. This man would never sit next to a child on a couch. Like, oh my god, do you go sit on the couch with children? That's cringe.
Has a screw top, so you know it's the toppest of quality wines. Thank you for the bits, but that's not very the way that I think.
He's not going to drink the bottle from that. Oh, there we go.
This is another way that we defeat the patriarchy.
Yeah, this man would never sit next to a child on a couch. Who's that Pokemon? Now, there's actually a funny quote I remember of Nick. Somebody once asked Nick, what is the most grapeable Pokemon? And he actually gave a really funny answer, in my opinion, which was Jigglypuff. Now, I don't see any Jigglypuffs on the couch. So that's fortunate. Like, if there was one, that would be very embarrassing. You'd have to check it for holes, I suppose. But that's just a weird Rekieta knowledge that I know, is that if there was one Pokemon he thought was most grapeable, it would be Jigglypuff. Which, fun fact, Jigglypuff's name in Japanese is Pudding, which is pudding. So they just literally call Jigglypuff pudding in Japan. Anyway, like, what is this thesis though? Like, an adult would never sit next to a child. Like, if you go to your friend's house, you sit down on the couch, their kids are going to sit next to you. Kids always do this. Like, oh, I wouldn't go near any of those. Like, what do you mean? But he'll sit on a podcast with a bunch of men that make up like song lyrics about children doing it. Like, okay, buddy.
And like, that's not my kid, so that wasn't happening.
Right.
Second of all, neither I nor April nor Kayla saw that thing anywhere near anybody. The last place it was in my shorts, and April and I were up pretty much most of the night watching Game of Thrones and doing cocaine. Like,
this makes sense why his brain is so full of cheese now. It's because he's been doing drugs and watching Game of Thrones season 8 for the last, I don't know, year or something. It's probably the same episode over and over and over and over. He just can't get enough of his queen, Daenerys Targaryen, first of her name, Stormborn, King of the Andals and the First Men, or whatever that is. I can't even remember now. Good grief. Jacob Hampson with a 20 says, wait, he has a cat? Is it still alive? Oh, that's a dark one as well. Is Sunny still alive? That's the real question. I don't have my high hopes for Sunny. You can put hashtag save Sunny or SS for short in the chat if you like.
Out of the bullet. So
also, we got a super
how
sticker.
it got
Thank you very much.
magically teleported to a couch, I think might have more to do with someone grabbing it out of my shorts, which were on the ground.
No, here's what happened is that you wear gay clothes from Hot Topic, skinny jeans and tight, small little girl pockets because girls' pants don't have proper pockets. So when you sat down, you stretch the fabric because you're wearing clothes that are too small for you, because that's what women do, is they wear clothes that is too small. And the cocaine bullet just fell out of your Hot Topic pants. That's what's happened.
And taking it and claiming that it was somewhere else. But who knows, you know? What I do know is that I was doing cocaine all night. April doesn't believe that story. The way he tells it is great because it's changed like 15 times. And
basically the story, I don't think he's changed it 15 times. I think the story was that Nick sat down on the couch, the cocaine billet fell out. Aaron noticed it. He told everyone to get the fuck out. April was so dumb that she thought she was included in this message, and she got out too, and then she seethed because she was being asked to be removed from the home that she was living in. Then Aaron had to tell her, but she's so stupid, to come back in the house. I meant the other people.
You know, there was a huge mess over the fact that he told his wife to leave when she was pissed off at me at first, because she at first was like, how did you do this? I was like, I didn't. Like, this is...
Wait, so April's mad at Nick because Nick has done something to eject from the house, but he's like, well, it couldn't have been. I don't know what Aaron's talking about. What was Aaron mad about? If Aaron wasn't mad about anything, he wouldn't have kicked you out of the house. Like, this is the worst cope that I've seen in possibly all tonight.
It was crazy. Like, there's no way that happened. We were using it all night, but I don't know. He's an odd duck.
Also, the people that use drugs are the most reliable of narrators as well. Like, he was using drugs all night, but this absolutely could not have happened because his memory is just so fucking sharp.
Was that pretty far into the situationship?
I don't know. Ask Aaron, right?
Okay. Well, Aaron won't talk to me.
It's the first time that we're over there, and then it's like not the first time.
Right.
There. No, it was. Let's see. When was that? I think it was early March. I think it was early March. And he still didn't ask me to not bring drugs into his house.
But that makes sense as far as like from an outsider's perspective.
This is a really good question. I'm a little bit behind, but why wouldn't he just leave the safe in the balldo bunker? Because he can't go anywhere without it. Because he's so desperate. He's such a junkie. Now Nick has said that he doesn't want to leave it in the bunker because the nanny might open the door to the cops, and then the cops would have entry to his house without a warrant, and then they would find the drugs. The nanny was gone long before this happened. Well, actually, no. I guess in this story, the nanny would have still been there. So I guess that is that's not a good excuse. But you just have it locked up in a safe. Like, he has guns. He should have a gun safe. Just put it in there. It's not the point of having a safe is that people can't get into it. But I guess everybody knows the combination is 1224 anyway.
Trying to piece together this timeline, that makes sense as far as being that far into it and him that fed up with the, being sort of the fourth wheel, I guess, in the situation where he's probably trying to, keep up with you, so to speak, and got upset enough maybe to where, some things were moved around and changed around where he could place blame, and then kicking her out on top of it. Because he tells the story about her crying in the shower and all of that after getting that text and that mess. So, because all along, I felt like
worse than he described, like it was.
Oh, I don't doubt it. But all along, I felt like it was his way of getting rid of her. Now, whether or not he was sort of testing the grounds entering into this relationship or not is a different story. But I think once he got into it and realized, okay, this is not what I want. And I mean, their marriage, it looked like he was looking for a way out and would have done it any way he could because of some of the things that he said, like the day of or the very next day, he is trashing her. I mean, absolutely. Like he's never loved the woman ever. It just seems so far removed from someone that loved, the person that they were with. So that timeline for me checks out because it sounds.
I think these two are mums. So this is Nick's demographic, but even he's bored of talking to them. Like, look at his face. This is the wine mum demographic. For some reason, these wine mums sweep for Rekieta, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, my nanny, she gave them a sip of a White Claw," and they're like, "Oh, how could they?" And then they're talking to a man that literally got caught with guns, cocaine, and his daughter full of 5,000 parts of it. I don't understand why. Somebody make it make sense to me. This is Nick's prime demographic, but even he can't stand them.
It's like,
all right, that was that. Now, there's one more thing we got here. This is some Camelot stream. Well, I think Camelot's got there's like a cancel campaign or something. Like he got kicked out of an anime convention for some reason. I've been seeing some stuff about that. They said he was like a danger to the convention. I don't know the whole story. It sucks that he's getting canceled. That's stupid. They shouldn't do that. Although the only real danger, that's the thing. Camelot's not dangerous. The only danger of Camelot attending to the convention is that when he parks the car in the car lot, right? That's the only dangerous thing he's going to be there for. But all right, this is the first part of it is he's talking about the accidental K-hole story, but I want to talk about the community service part. So I've already skipped ahead in this one to where the conversation starts.
Do a huge line of coke and ending up laying down, having an adventure in my carpet greens. Like that was great.
He was telling a fun story about how the night before he got arrested, he went to do a loan of cocaine. It was actually ketamine. And as a result, he face planted and had to spend the next couple of hours admiring his carpet because he was down the K-hole. Yeah, drugs sound like that sounds really fun. Oh man, sign me up for this experience where I'm on my bathroom floor looking at fucking carpet.
So you got community service, right?
All right, here's what.
80 hours.
Does that 80 hours. Could it possibly include you making like an anti-drug ad for commercials?
Not in this county. My county sucks for community service. You have to go in and just do whatever they're doing. And it's pretty much entirely manual labor because there's only like 2 community service guys. So
it's manual labor. Suffer, Nick. You're going to get those arms working, boy. You're going to be in the farm. Yeehaw. They're going to be buck breaking him in the fields. Manual labor. And Nick is so mad about this because he's going to be working for $10 an hour. So his community service is something like $800 essentially. And he's like, can I pay that $100? Like, no, you got to work in the cabbage farm.
You're going to do you might be washing the trucks that the county uses for
car wash at the car wash, babe. Nick likes karaoke. He'll enjoy that. You're going to get skinny Nick in his Hot Topic crop top doing the sexy car wash. So you can look forward to that, Minnesota.
That go down they spray the fucking grass on the medians and stuff like that. Or you might be changing the oil in county vehicles, or you might be.
Well, Nick's not going to be doing that. He doesn't know how to do that. He's letting his, isn't he letting his rust stang literally just rust in his garage right now?
Out picking up garbage or whatever. It seems like it's.
Oh yeah, there you go. You could go pick up April. That sounds great.
Pretty much all manual labor stuff, but you get to pick when you go in. And so
how the hell do they expect you to do manual labor?
I'm like,
you won't be able to pick up anything.
I'm like,
I mean, true. Like Camelot's right when he's right.
Oh, I'd probably be really good at hosting like an AA group or like a group therapy thing and going through stuff like that. And I'm really good at communicating to groups of people. And
do we rank this as wait, I wish I hadn't closed the clip. Hold on. Let me just go to hold on. Nick is really good. He's really good at talking to groups of people. He's really good at hosting. Let's have a look at
of nitrous oxide.
Let's have a look at Nick in a group situation. Let's see, he's really good at talking to people.
He taught me how to do nitrous, and I was
how to do
fucking
nitrous
worried
and
about
coke
her.
and molly and ketamine.
Exactly.
Yeah, this seems like a really good person to put in the AA meeting. I'm sure he's going to be an entertainer. Look, Your Honor, I do a live stream to at least 1,000 people a night, so I can surely talk to 25 people in a group without losing my shit. They're like, how about you just go and pick up trash? Hilarious.
I'm very good with interpersonal communication and stuff like that.
He's very good with interpersonal communication. He read a book about interhuman personal connections, okay? He understands. He knows how people thinks. That's why his channel's going up and up and up after every week. He's not losing 20% of his audience every week like clockwork. He's very good at knowing what people want to see. They want to hear about Kurt's casserole. That's what the audience wants to know.
That and I have lots of background and all this stuff. And they're like, no, you're going to do this stuff. I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess what a waste. And they pay you $10 an hour.
What?
That's
pay
what
you?
No, like that. Or sorry, that's the value of community service.
Oh, I thought.
Well, Nick's value is worthless for his work, but that's how the county measures it.
Well, that's kind of cool. You're gonna get fucking paid.
So they sends me to 80 hours, so it's effectively $800 worth of community service. They won't let me just pay it. I'm like, it's 800.
Of course, this is why the county is smart, because they know that you can just pay off. Money is no object to a trust fund baby. That's not a punishment to have your daddy bail you out again. No, you have to do something that actually takes work, that actually makes you suffer. Now, he has to do his 80 hours of community service before August 1st, I believe. So he's running out of time. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to do it. But it is very funny that we're almost to the end of May, right? So he has, June and July? He has 2 months to do 80 hours of work. Now, normally, there's approximately 80 hours of work is like 2 weeks, right? So he has 8 weeks left, essentially, to do 80 hours of work. I don't know if he's going to make it. Do I have merch? You'd buy a Suffer shirt? That's not my logo, though. That'd be either Aquino Casino or Ralph merchandise. I need to come up with my own memes.
$100. But if you the worst part about community service for some people is if you you have to take these drug tests. The drug test costs $32, right? Which is not a big deal unless you're really poor, which is a lot of people who have a drug conviction. They end up being poor. And so if they take drug tests and it's $32 and they can't pay that, they have to do community service for it. And they round. So you have to do 4 hours of community service per drug test if you can't pay for it yourself. Which is fucking crazy to think about, like, because some of these people will be, they'll have several tests a month, like maybe 6-7 tests a month. And if they have to just add 4 hours of community service for each one of those on top of what they're already doing, they never get out from under it.
That's terrifying.
That is terrifying. But not quite as terrifying as the idea of Nick having to work in the fields. I hope they live stream that. That'd be very fun, wouldn't it? Let me see. Where's that? There we go. That's a good screen. There we have that. All right. There we go. We're all caught up. I've cleared out my Rekieta folder. Scarebro says, listen to these wine mums talking to the father of a 5 getting into hard drugs, but Aaron is lying about a coke bullet because he's beat a butthurt. I just don't get, what is it about Aaron that makes people seethe so much? Like, I think Aaron, like, where's the Luigi thing? Luigi wins. This one, here it is. Is this GIF going to load up? This is what Aaron, this is Aaron's entire week. Aaron is just Luigi and everyone else is just fucking up and just and suffering. I don't know how he keeps getting away with it. But poor Aaron. He just wants to talk about golf and shit. Sporkmaster 64 says, Nick claiming to be good at hosting an AI meeting. That's not even how it works. Is genuinely infuriating. Well, he thinks he's God's gift to the world, right? I mean, I guess he thinks he is literally better than Jesus because at least Jesus has sinned once and Nick can do no wrong because it's always everyone else's fault. That's all I've got for you tonight, chat. I hope you enjoyed this. We might do a gaming stream tomorrow. If you join as a member, you get access to the Discord. There'll be a Discord link on the community tab. Much appreciated for the big support for this stream. I think is Legal Mindset streaming? Legal Mindset. Is he streaming tonight? He's streaming tonight with talking about Johnny Somali. Although I guess I'll send you over there. All right, guys. Peace. Hope you enjoyed this and stay based. I'll see you next time. Peace. Where's my thing?
Now it's time to see which of our stories are based. Was this story based? Yes. Was this story based? Yes, it was. If you thought this story was based, you're right. This tale of a mysterious force protecting a pharmacy is based. Is this story based? Did you think this one was based? If you thought this one was based, you're right. This story of a gun that wouldn't fire at innocent people was actually based. Was this story of vengeance in the forest based? Not this time. Was this story based? Yes.
The two stories tonight